Tommy,
Good morning, Hyrule.
I woke. I just woke up. I can oak. Mm, mm,
My wife and I, we woke up around 5 this morning. She did a rare thing and got up and made us breakfast. We enjoyed it together. Then she went back to sleep with Mod Marvels running in the background because she needs something to be playing in the background when it's dark or when she wants to sleep.
mm.
How are you, my friend?
Mm, I'm alive.
That's something to be grateful for.
I'm rested.
Oh, another good thing.
Mm, I'm thirsty.
Oh, well, you know what to do there.
Mm, mm, mm.
Is that Vita Coma coconut water? Oh, it's Nature's Nectar brand. Nice. What a wonderful world that we live in, and how privileged we are to have such wonderful things.
Mm. Mm. Now, our morning stretch. Mm, 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 mm. Mm. What plans do you have for today?
I was reading, I was actually in the process while I was waiting for you to come online, um, out of Isaiah. But before I mention this and why I happen to be sharing it, I don't even know if it's useful, but do you know that Monday, our friend Stoic Dan is doing a 90-minute session on Stoicism and Christianity, comparing and contrasting, based on an article that was published in the Daily Stoic by that big name guy. Let me see what's his name. Actually, before I do that, let me share a URL because I was capturing. I already took a picture. This is the message paraphrase. I want to provide in the description of the picture a link to a digital copy of the same um, portion. So let me get this to come out. I think that'll work. And I usually like when I'm using Babel Gateway, I remove the percent 20s and the percent 3A. These are the codes. I'll replace the percent 3A with actual colons because I found it works and it makes for a cleaner, more readable URL. Hopefully it transfers, or I'm not shooting myself in the foot by being specific like that. Let's see. I replace it. It seems to work. And if I do it in a different browser, does it work? Yep, it works. So where was I? Oh, different browser. And goes at this tab. And we find digital copy available apps. And save photo. There, I added a photo to the item. Would you like me to read it? Out of the book of Isaiah, the end of chapter 41 and the opening of chapter 42.
Can you show it online too?
My pleasure.
Share it.
I'll do it two ways. There's a digital, and then I'll share my screen. Zoom, share. I'll do it from here. Yeah. How's that? I put me use her iPhone and then texted the image with just this copy that we keep at home. This was the most expensive Bible I ever purchased, but it comes with a guarantee from the publisher that if it ever completely wears out and falls apart, you can take the remains and ship it back to the publisher, and they'll send you another one. I got it from a bookstore in the 2000s, somewhere in the 2000s. Christian bookstore back in Orlando. And it's
How much
a
is
thought for
that Bible?
thought translation, not a word for word. Not everyone
much?
likes it, but a lot of people really do too.
How much is that Bible?
Eugene Peterson's The Message. Started when he was doing a course in, he was teaching, doing a Bible study on Galatians, the earliest letter in the New Testament. And he realized that people were having a hard time connecting with the language. Now, Peterson is a scholar of Greek and Hebrew and maybe some Aramaic, I don't know. So for him, it was very immediate. Like he could feel the language, but he found that the people in his class weren't. So he went and created a translation of the work in the contemporary sort of 1980s, 90s into the 2000s because he went from Galatians and finished the whole New Testament, then added Psalms and Proverbs and went and did the whole Old Testament. So we have this complete paraphrase now in a contemporary sort of very alive version.
His name is Eugene
Eugene
Peterson,
Peterson. The name
and the
of the
work,
translation is The Message.
and he calls the book, the Bible, The Message,
The Message, yes.
and he paraphrased it all.
Yep.
Wow.
Are you speaking through computer screen or a phone right now?
Phone,
Okay. Are you going to bring up a computer screen?
computer screen.
Are you in a room with a computer with a larger screen?
Oh. Oh. Oh, well, I could stretch it out like pinch outwards, and
Yeah.
I can see like Isaiah 41:22 through 42:4.
Yeah, one of the things in this,
Take the stand on behalf of your idols.
yeah. Keep going.
Is that where it starts, or a good place to start?
Yeah, why not?
Take the stand on behalf of your idols. Offer arguments. Assemble reasons. Spread out the facts before us so that we can assess them ourselves. Ask them, if you are gods, explain what the past means. Or failing that, tell us what will happen in the future. Can't do that, huh? How about doing something? Anything, good or bad, whatever. Can you hurt us or help us? Do we need to be afraid? They say nothing because they are nothing. They're sham gods, no gods, fool making gods. Hmm. Hmm. Oh, I, God, started someone out from the north, and he's come. He has called out of the east by name. He was called out of the east by name. He'll stomp the rulers into the mud, the way a potter works the clay. Let me ask you, did anyone guess that this might happen? Did anyone tell us earlier so we might confirm it? With a yes, he's right. No one mentioned it. No one announced it. No one heard a peep out of you. But I told Zion all about this beforehand. I gave Jerusalem a preacher of good news. But around here, there's no one who knows what's going on. I guess no one can tell me the score. Nothing here. It's all smoke and hot air. Sham gods, hollow gods, no gods. Mm, mm,
Pause and discuss. Or we can continue.
Who is this person talking? And to whom is he talking? Is that Isaiah?
I think it's the Almighty himself, at least
Uh,
through the words here in this book of Isaiah. Isaiah is kind of interesting. The Christian Bible, well, some have 65 for the Orthodox, and some have 67 for a lot of Catholic Bibles. Most of them are, it averages around 66 works. And there's 66 chapters in Isaiah, so it's referred to as the Bible within the Bible. It's about his vision and the times that he spent. Christians will often refer back to Isaiah um, for
so,
for it as a pointer to um, Christ, as we see then entering in here in chapter 42. Then this was written years before, hundreds of years before. Um, I guess sometime. I don't know. I'd have to look it up, but I don't want to get sidetracked. Shall we continue on in the text, or do you have another question?
it asks, ask them, if you are gods, explain what the past means, or failing that, tell us what will happen in the future. Mhm. Can we ask that to our gods? Gods in this case could be our scientists, or it could be our great philosophers that are trending, or our whoever, certain people mm, find praiseworthy, could we not ask them, if you are so wise, explain what the past means? Or failing that, tell us what will happen in the future. Hmm.
Yeah, well,
So,
that's what the risk of promoting any man to God, right? To that status.
so the answer would be that no one God or no one highly esteemed person who who may be people say, wow, he's very smart, or she's very smart. They wouldn't be able to explain what the past means, or even less, or maybe it might be better if they could explain what will happen in the future, or predict, or in their opinion, what's gonna happen in the next year. No, that's too hard. What will happen in the next few weeks? Hmm. Well, we have weather forecasters.
Yeah,
Maybe.
that's an excellent pro example of using computation, because we could run a risk. I literally witnessed it among the Universalist Unitarians of worshiping an artificial intelligence as their man-made God. Of course, an AI is only as good as the data set fed it. And even then, because of the way they're created, they can get things wrong. At least in our large language models, and the degree to which they're set to how they're tuned.
Wow. And what if the AI is fed all human knowledge,
Mhm.
uh, to the point that one could say the AI is omniscient. It knows everything in the present and in the historical past. Maybe there's a lot of contradictions there, but maybe
Well, there's a fallacy
it
right
can
off the bat.
accept. Hmm,
I'm sorry.
it could accept the contradictions, and say, well, some people think this and others think that, so we'll even sort of keep keep that in consideration, and then with knowing all that's known and having an artificial omniscience, out of that, could it not calculate something that could happen the next day, the next week, the next month?
Well, to degrees
Something in
of
particular?
accuracy, right? The further you go out, the more complex. But your initial problem, Taro, is the assumption that all human knowledge is omniscience. It's like saying 100 is infinity. With a bunch of work, we might to get to 101 in terms of what we know thus far. But we're always gathering new data or new information and compiling
Hmm.
new sets of knowledge. So clearly, all human knowledge, or at least that in which we could feed into a large language model data set, would not be omniscience. It would be just that which we could compile.
So could not the AI use that which it could be given that we have compiled and infer from that set of knowledges something to fill in the gaps, something to expand its given knowledge and generate possible knowledges so
Well,
that instead of 100, it might be 1,000.
sure. And that's sort of what LLMs do. They're designed to, in essence, hallucinate, which is sometimes brought up as a negative, but it is what we in our own minds do, having limited sets of knowledge, we fill in gaps. That is a feature, but it still would just be adding to the total depth of data information out there, because then you're creating a subset of hallucinations of that AI generated. They've taken the outputs of AIs and fed them into other AIs for multiple cycles, and things break down. Recognizable reality decomposes, and the artwork, for instance, tends to turn to excrement when that occurs, indicating just how limited they begin with. The risk, or at least one of the risks with AI, is that it can produce instant book reports on any topic by pulling out of this huge wealth of data, information that it has. And because it does that, and it's familiar because it's based upon world human knowledge, we might conclude that A, it's correct, because another risk with AI is data set poisoning, where things that are not true get inserted into the data set. It's a poisoning attack, but then it becomes accepted as true. So then you get whomever users are relying upon that AI are then living with factually incorrect information as part of their accepted knowledge set. Those are two risks. But going back to the first risk that I brought up, the thought that it's a be all or end all, no, I mean, at this point, because it's still fairly young, and if you're sophisticated enough, you'll recognize the limits or the ends of the knowledge. Not everything that's said or that it produces or outputs is going to be true, because not everything that's put into it is going to be necessarily true. It's just what data was available to put into it. And not everything that comes out of it will be true, because some of it could be fabricated by the large language model, or however they've designed that particular system. Not to say that there aren't cases, because you brought up the most excellent case of weather prediction. We've gotten those tools that we've been working on for decades. We've had supercomputers working on those various models. And then we also have something like 12.5 models per storm from various different sets of algorithms, various sets of supercomputer clusters that are producing, this is the path the hurricane will go in, or this is a path, and this is a path. But then you can take the amalgamum and then use that as our best effort of prediction. Of course, the further you go out, the more prone to error you're dealing with. This goes back to one of the first topics I brought up back in the 20 teens in group, and that is, where do ideas come from? Where do things that seem fresh or new come from? Where I don't know that that can be answered anything other than by way of this entity that well perhaps through this thing that we designate, not thing, but this entity is a better word, um, represented by those three letters God, but also his people, because at least in the Christian worldview, the temple is the people. They become like was it jars of clay, and we've got this wonderful content, and it can't help but break and burst out of us.
Wow. What if, in order for there to be creativity, there has to be an element, a seed of hallucination, and not just that, false, faulty, false,
If we use
incorrect,
the model,
misleading,
no,
misinterpretations.
that's interesting. Okay. Those are all possibilities. I mean, it's going to be limited.
Misinformation.
It's going to be limited for how far you can go with it potentially. The thing is that when you involve a human being with the process, you don't necessarily know what you're going to get given a set of inputs. There's a fellow, I think he's a biologist, but let's use because you said seed, and it caused me to think of catalyst or crystal seed. The reason why rain falls is because water moisture collects around a piece of dust or airborne particulate. That's how we get clouds, these collections of these dust and water, until they get heavy enough, and the air pressure and the water temperature and becomes right to the point where the cloud then falls down onto the ground. In chemical reactions, you can take a catalyst, which is could be it's something that will react or set off a reaction where everything's just right, but then you need a seed catalyst that you drop in, usually something like something the size of a grain of sand, pops in, and it'll get the whole reaction going. And the way it does it mechanically is the surfaces of that seed catalyst, usually they're of a specific pattern, and as it drops into let's say the chemical mixture of perhaps two elements in compound, but not yet reacted, it cuts through and causes those things to then interact. And most of that would be often, but not always, because it could be some other liquid, water as the substrate, and then randomness is the superpower in that situation. And I had shared in the Plato's Cave message board a little interview by a fellow who thought that silicon-based artificial intelligences will never reach what we as human beings have in terms of intelligences, by nature of the fact that we are something like 70% water, and the things that go on throughout us are a lot more able to key in on random for that fact, whereas at the very fundamental level, whereas silicon-based artificial intelligence are operating within the context of the fixed substrate of these crystal minerals um, copper and logic gates, whatnot, um, on silicon boards. So it's not at that fundamental level as able to tap into the random as we are. So he kind of sets it to that, which I thought was an interesting perspective, and you can read back and forth between Ben Forbes Griffin and myself there.
Hmm.
But should we continue and read the remainder of this layout, or do we want to do some more with what we've got from the end of Isaiah 41, chapter 41?
Statement. If you are God's, explain what the past means, or failing that, tell us what will happen in the future. Is that suggesting that the speaker is the God who can tell us what will happen in the future and explain what the past means?
I think that's the idea, but notice it's formed in the form of a question, so I don't know that we can know that the speaker does or does not. I'm okay not knowing. My response would be get to God and ask yourself to find out.
Or it could be that the speaker is pointing out to the false omniscience of these gods and not claiming that, well, I can. Just it's the speaker's just saying that none of your gods can do that.
Right.
And not only that, can your gods or can you gods do something, anything, good or bad, ever? Can you hurt us or help us? Do we need to be afraid? They say nothing. They can't say that. They can't do anything because they are nothing. They're sham gods, no gods, full making gods. Mm.
Yeah.
So
The phrase
when we
wagon too.
pray to those gods, they are silent.
Yeah, and that could explain why a lot of people, when they pray to what they think is God and nothing happens, why they may then come to a quick conclusion thinking that there's no God,
Mm.
when perhaps their problem was they started by praying to no God,
Mm.
just an idol.
Mm.
Also, let me point out that the book of Isaiah, through the Christian lens, points to Jesus,
Mm.
who is something like at least 400. I forget when Isaiah, you could look it up to find out when this work has been determined to have been, or at least roughly approximately been authored, which century before Christ, but it was literal centuries before Christ that this was written. And it's also referenced. There's a eunuch who's reading Isaiah, and someone comes alongside him, and they're because the eunuch had some questions with regard to this book, and then he starts back in the New Testament explaining and showing how in Isaiah and Jesus himself also references Isaiah, saying that I'm the one that's mentioned or talked about in this earlier book. Now, if this book was talking about Jesus hundreds of years into the future, and the speaker in this passage at the end of chapter 41 is talking about the chapters and the verses, they all were added later throughout sometime the last 1,000 years. But then that's an indication that the God voice who's speaking here is able to predict the future, probably because he's already authored it or has that plan in place.
I, God, well, not me, but it is written, I, God, started someone out from the north.
So Nazareth was it's geographically located north of Jerusalem. So if this book was in the center of the ancient kingdom, that could be read as that could be a reference to Christ having come out of this northern territory or region of that ancient land. And then he was called out of the east by name. I think of the three wise men who, here we are in this Advent season, the wise men who came from the east to search him out as he was born. Of course, that's one interpretation out of many possible ones.
God started someone out from the north, and he's come. He was he was called out of the east by name. He'll stomp the rulers into the mud. The way a potter works the clay. Let me ask you, did anyone guess that this might happen? Did anyone tell us earlier so we might confirm it? With a yes, he's right. No one mentioned it. No one announced it. No one heard a peep out of you. But I told Zion all about this beforehand. I gave Jerusalem a preacher of good news. But around here, there's no one who knows what's going on. I ask, but no one can tell me the score. Nothing here. It's all smoke and hot air. Sham gods, hello gods, no gods. 42. God's servant will set everything right. Take a good look at my servant. I'm backing him to the hill. He's the one I chose, and I couldn't be more pleased with him. I've bathed him with my spirit, my life. He'll set everything right among the nations. He won't call attention to what he does with loud speeches or gaudy parades. He won't brush aside the bruised and the hurt. He won't disregard the small and insignificant, but he'll steadily and firmly set things right. He won't tire out and quit. He won't be stopped until he's finished his work to set things right on earth. Far-flung ocean islands wait expectantly for his teachings. Next page. The God who makes us alive with his own life. God's message, the God who created the cosmos, stretched out the skies, laid out the earth and all that grows from it. who breathes life into Earth's people, makes them alive with his own life. I am God. I have called you to live right and well. I have taken responsibility for you, kept you safe. I have set you among my people to bind them to me and provided you as a lighthouse to the nations to make a start in bringing people into the open, into light, opening blind eyes, releasing prisoners from dungeons, emptying the dark prisons. I am God. Hmm? That's my name. I don't franchise my glory. Don't endorse the no God idols. Take note. The earlier predictions of judgment have been fulfilled. I'm announcing the new salvation work before it bursts on the scene, telling you all about it. Sing to God a brand new song. Sing his praises all over the world. Let the sea and its fish give a round of applause, with all the far flung islands joining in. Let the desert and its camps raise a tune, calling the Kedar nomads to join in. Let the villages in Sela round up a choir and perform from the top of the mountains. May God's glory resound, echo his praises from coast to coast. God steps out like he means business. You can see he is primed for action. He shouts, announcing his arrival. He takes charge and his enemies fall into line. I've been quiet long enough. I've held back, biting my tongue. But now I'm letting loose, letting go. Like a woman who's having a baby, stripping the hills bare, withering the wildflowers, drying up the rivers, turning lakes into mud flats. I'll take the hand of those who don't know the way, who can't see where they are going. I'll be a personal guide to them, directing them through unknown country. Wow. Hmm.
Fun once more. There's a hyperlink there, in the upper right-hand corner of that screen share. And also I tapped it into the same hyperlink into our chat section of Zoom here, where you can continue on past verse chapter 42, verse 16.
The digital copy
Yeah, it's in
available.
the chat. The link is there. It'll take you right to the translation and to
Yeah.
the end of it.
Wow. Let's see. Set out
That's a lot to take in
face
too.
your
Just
gods, says God. Bring your evidence, says the King of Jacob. Oh, yes. So that is the translation by by
Eugene Peterson or Eugene
Eugene
Peterson.
Peterson.
Yeah, he passed away a few years ago. In fact, there's a nice video that Bono from U2 did visiting their home out west somewhere. And it turns out, I didn't know this because it said at the top of the previous image, it shows you jars of clay, not perfect here. It said through Isaiah 16, but then when I clicked on the digital copy, 10 through 16, it turns out after country, there's two more verses here. I don't know if you can see that or not.
Drying up the rivers, turning lakes into mud flats. But I'll take the hand of those who don't know the way, who can't see where they're going. I'll be a personal guide to them, directing them through unknown country. I'll be right there to show them what roads to take. Make sure they don't fall into the ditch. These are the things I'll be doing for them, sticking with them, not leaving them for a minute.
We're called to be in relation, and we're much better when we're in relation and in constant prayer. Prayer is like an open meditation. And the moment my wife does it this way, she goes, "Well, good morning, God," and then she goes to sleep. Good night, God. I don't know that we're always with and in contact or keeping the conversation going, but I think of no better guide, nor do I think of no better privilege, nor do I think of no better life that results in any other way than by being in constant prayer with the creator of the universe. Could you imagine anything better? I guess this is sometimes why well, there's a phrase more than conquerors. Not only is it supreme, but it's also compassionate, heartfelt. If you just look at the raw numbers, I don't think there's any cause for any who's seen through or have lived both outside of being in relationship with Christ, having the indwelling Holy Spirit versus any other way of being. And I think it's proven out by the numbers in the Christianity in all of its many forms. I think it's still the largest. Faith system of belief. Not the religion itself, but the relationship, the way. That's my talking clock for anyone uninitiated listening to the video archive of the live stream. It's now 8 a.m.
Oh. Oh, now I will share what I have to be thinking about. So let's see if I can think about it now. Let's see. I will put in the search in my emails Nancy Yelding. I believe it is. Not yielding, but Yelding. Oh, it doesn't come up because I'm in the wrong email. It's in the email account gyrosophy@gmail.com. Nancy. Okay, let's see. Verse 1, study guide. Verse 3, study guide. Wait a minute. Oh, okay, I got it. Let's see. Is it here? Oh, maybe it's this one. Oh, yes. Here it is. I will open it up, maybe. Let's see. Hmm, hmm, hmm. Oh, oh, wow. Where, where's the attachment? Hmm, what? Maybe it didn't get attached. No, see it. Yeah, there it is. I'm downloading a document with 8 verses and commenting. Oh, open it with the word, right? Hmm. All right. Let's see what it looks like. Oh. 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 Opening. First time used on this phone. And I got, this is not my primary phone. This is my secondary phone because my primary phone, I didn't leave it plugged in. So I'm charging it like 44%. Oh. Hmm. Oh. Okay. Mm-hmm. Oh. No. Maybe I should go back to my emails and get another email that's related to uh what we've read. Hmm. Perhaps this one. Perhaps it's this one. Oh boy. No, it's an earlier one. Scott Tatesworth. Scott Tatesworth. Is that right? Yes. Which one is it? Oh man, I got so much to study. It's kind of overwhelming. And I'm behind. Let's see. Whoa. How come there's a lot of hmm. Where's the where's the one? Where's the one? Where is that one? Oh, maybe it's this one. No, it's the one on, let's see. Oh no. Maybe it's with Nancy. Oh. Hmm. Let's see. Yoga study guide. Oh no. No. Yoga. Study. Yoga study 2. Yoga study 1. There's to an aspiring yogi. Ah. Mhm. It says, what's the keyword I was thinking? Mhm. Oh, here's an exercise I will try to follow. Watch time passing and also watch the mind flow exactly as time passes.
Is this
And
on your phone?
notice, oh, let's see if I can share it.
Thank you.
Let's see. I will put it, I will go like this. Come back. And oh, someone's knocking at the door. Mm. Oh, it's Vinci. Oh no, I can't do this. Let's see. Well, this phone doesn't do it. Is that right? Wait, the other phone does. Wow.
I'm inviting Joey Fisher to join us.
Amazing. You can't do it. Okay. So I will forget about it for now and allow Joe in Canada and Joey Fisher to join us. Welcome, friends, enemies, strangers, kind mothers. I will close in the bardo.
Namaste, brother Hyro.
Forget about it for now.
Namaste, brother
Wow.
Joey.
Long time no
Namaste,
see.
brother Rami. I'm
Wow.
waiting for my friend from Nepal to join us.
We have a family, Joey, of a fellow who's got two sons, 10 and 12, and a wife. And they join us from their small village about 120 kilometers outside of Kathmandu, who sometimes plays this game, or sometimes usually his sons will play the game, that the fellow whose background says Vinci has created and been working on for years. And that's basically it's a territorial exercise capture game that Vinci is coming from Joel. He's a fellow from Toronto, sort of I guess classified as Jubu, who, for anyone who's unfamiliar with the phrase, Jewish Buddhist.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
And Hyro was just about to. It's good. Have you and Hyro met in person, perhaps?
Yeah. Hey,
Yeah.
Hira. Been a long time, Hira. How you doing?
Yes, the first time must have been in 2007 or 8 when there was a on Meetup a Buddhism group, and the organizer was Iron Buddha.
Yes.
And we must have met
Those good old days.
either in the in one of those places around that nice area where they have like dandelions. Maybe
Yes.
it was there.
Yeah, the Dandelion Cafe. Went there many times for the Buddhist meetup.
Place on the other side, on the other street, parallel to it.
Oh yeah, behind it. Yeah.
It was like a place for teaching kids. Me school something. What is it? What's that? The school that?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I just don't remember the name. It was some kind of like they had like spiritual teachings there and
Yes.
activities for kids and stuff.
So
Wow.
Joey and Hyro were referring to a wonderful cafe in Orlando that you may or may not have visited when you were down in Winter Park. Okay.
Yeah, it's like one of Orlando's like first vegan restaurants. Like now there's like a lot of them, even though a lot of them have been shutting down recently, but they were like one of the early vegan restaurants in Orlando.
They had some of the best squash soup I think I'd ever had, and all their salads were delicious. They had some tofu plates too.
Oh yeah, good stuff. And it's since shut down, so
Dandelion shut down?
yeah, Dandelion shut down shortly after the COVID stuff started.
Yeah, I thought they had reopened back up though.
No, they haven't.
Dandelions shut down?
Yeah, oh yeah, shortly after COVID started.
How about Drunken Monkey? Are they still around?
They're still going, yeah, they're still going.
What about Ethos shut down recently?
Yeah, there's been so many restaurants shutting down lately. It's very sad.
Thought of centralized control
Eaters.
or the imposition of
I think I think the economy is causing a lot of them to close.
Well, we're at sort of a crossroads. I invited Joey here. He's got all sorts of questions. Hyro was just about to, because we spent the first 50 minutes. We started a little bit late at 7:10 this morning, and we spent the first 50 minutes. So you can go back to the archive and if anyone ever wants to review it. uh, reading a paraphrase of the end of chapter 41 and the beginning of chapter 42 of Isaiah. And then Hira was just about to get us into some meditation that was on his mind. But since you're fresh here, I'm going to take a cue from the Humanist Association of Toronto. They tend to let newcomers speak first. Hira, would it be okay that we give Joey an opportunity to share with whatever's on his mind before we go into, or if, I mean, it may mean we might not cover
Yes,
how conversations go, you know how these things go.
I'm going to walk the dog.
Okay. So welcome, Joey.
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't feel like you're put on the spot. I mean, it's easy to subsume into anything.
Oh, you want me to go? You want me to go ahead and just?
Oh, it's only if you want to.
Okay,
want to
yeah,
make
sure.
What was available to you.
Well, you asked. So I'm Joey Fisher. I'm a programmer and an artist. I currently the only work I do is like I teach online art mostly to kids, and I work as a programmer too. I've worked in the Department of Defense doing programming interactive applications for the military training, and then but currently I'm trying to transition more into virtual reality programming, make virtual reality applications and games and so on. And and this topic that you guys have for today, there's no objective reality. It's been something in my thoughts a lot lately. It's actually all the time, you know. It's like, what is reality? And and then I find it especially interesting that these all the things with the drones and the UAPs happening recently. I don't know if you guys are following that much, but I think everybody's starting to be aware of it. The drone situation in New Jersey, because it's like spreading and showing up in more states now. So I'm very into following all that to see what the hell is going on, and I definitely think a lot about reality, like looking at it from the point of view of like, I'm sure I don't know if the topic's already been discussed or it's going to be discussed, but looking at it from like multiple dimensions, like we live in we're able to perceive 4 dimensions, 3D plus time, and then there I think there's like higher dimensions, fifth, sixth. If you're a 5th dimensional being, you could probably see into the 4th dimension rather easily and manipulate it rather easily, and that just might be where the aliens and the UAPs are coming from. Anyway, that's what interests me in being here, and I just thought it was kind of coincidental and maybe perhaps meant to be that I'm here because Rami messaged me yesterday about coming to the group, and I hadn't met him, though we had like chatted like, when was that? It was like 2016. We had chatted to each other about something. It seemed like it was job related, something you were telling me about a job in 2016. And then you just popped up recently on my chats and, reminded me about this group, invited me to come to it. And, mentioned I know Hiro from the old days of the Iron Buddha leading the Buddhist group. And so I'm not usually an early riser, so got my ass up early and came on. And I was a little confused about whether it started at 8 or 7. The meetup group said 8, so I'm like, okay, I can make myself do that, and so I don't know if I'll need to get clear on that if I come to future meetings.
We experiment around here, so just always trying to find whatever works.
Okay. And you're so far away, Rami. I'm gonna have to enlarge.
Oh, I don't know. Is my voice coming through clearly when I'm
I hear you fine. It's just like your screen is so small, and then you're far away from the camera. So I'm just like,
I thought I'd sit down for a while.
all right, there you are. Now I can see you a little closer. So, That's about it for me, unless you guys, have any questions for me or anything.
Oh,
Wow.
wow. This is just an open hangout, so not
Hmm.
very many rules.
Okay.
Wow, that was a good introduction to Joey Fisher and what he's up to. Sounds interesting. Uh, there is no objective reality or something like that, I think.
The
Mhm.
one
Is
that
that
started
what?
it, and then it was actually Joel that inspired me to take that and alter the description for the ongoing meetup because I think TDS is kind of passé as a phrase. So thank you, Joel. I don't know if you know
I
this.
didn't understand that, Rummy. What
Yeah,
did I
you
do?
wouldn't
I'm
because
happy to take credit for it, but I just sometimes like to know what I think I did or what
at
somebody thinks I
the
did.
meetup site, Central Florida Philosophy, there's an ongoing description. Listed Vinci, your game. Do you pronounce it with the H sound or not?
What's the H sound?
Between the C and the I in the name of your
Let's
game?
see.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm not too fussy. I'm just happy that people pronounce it at all.
So I changed the description, the title and the description and the picture last night. Um, so that and I utilized you had participated on Facebook mentioning something along the lines of, well, I guess if that's what we have to talk about for Saturday morning, then we'll make it that. It was about objective reality because Hyro made a comment saying there's no objective reality. That's a positional statement. I count throughout the comments of that statement, I countered saying that there is an objective reality, but it's in the universal observer, which is a tie-in to the philosopher what's his name that I've mentioned before, Berkeley. Yeah, George Berkeley. That's his full name.
George Berkeley?
That's
Not
opposed to Melvin Berkeley, who was his cousin,
I
who
don't. I'm
was
not
just a
sure, but that's nice.
mathematician.
What's there's a phrase for what you just did there, Joel. What is it? Maybe it's Yiddish. It's when you're like I don't know enough of, but when you interject like a side joke, or I've seen that pattern of speech before.
that's called heroism.
Ah,
Well, you could say a lot of different things.
is that in Yiddish or in Spanish?
That'd be a
That's
mixture.
that's in Hyro-ish.
Hiroish.
I'm trying to get I'm
Yeah,
trying
so
to get
we
take
try to
credit for
keep that
everything.
lighthearted and fun and jovial. Yeah.
And that George Berkeley, he's some distantly related to Georgism and the founder of Georgism.
Oh,
Um,
that reminds me, sorry, Rami, for interrupting, but the Aurora Philosophy Group is having a presentation on Georgism in
oh, really?
February. I
Oh,
meant to
neat.
mention that to you several times before, but I've forgotten. I don't know who the presenter is. I think he's in South America somewhere, but I'm not sure. And I wanted to tell you that because I knew you were interested in Georgism.
Thank you for that. Is the Aurora group are they on Meetup as well?
I don't know if they're on Meetup, but you can find them on the web. Um,
Can
Aurora
you go there?
Philosophy Institute. They're all primarily retired academics, have different persuasions. So this just came out of the blue last time I was at a meeting and somebody mentioned it, and I thought to myself, I must mention this to Rami, but I don't think I did till now.
Is it the Canadian group, the APL.ca?
Yeah.
The Aurora Philosophy.
No, it's Aurora Philosophy
Okay, got it.
Institute. I'm sure you'll
Great.
find it. If not, I'll look up one of their emails or something. I may have forwarded you an email from them one time or another.
Wow.
Georgism, for the uninitiated, is a name attached to a philosophy that's actually started before whom it's founded. the founder being Henry George, who was he lived from I think 1839 or 36 to 1897. He died during his second run for the mayorship of New York. His funeral was attended by something like 10,000 people. During his first run for the mayorship of New York City, he got second place. The person who got third place was Teddy Roosevelt. He wrote, at the time of his death, he was the third most famous American, along with, who were the other two? Probably Thomas Edison and Mark Twain. So he wrote a book called Progress and Poverty, kind of kicked off the American Progressive era. His big claim or discovery was that he was pursuing how to make a just world, and he existed in that time, the philosophy between the moral philosophers and the economists. So he was sort of an armchair philosopher, but he wrote this giant tome that got international recognition and influence. It was self-published too. Wound up teaching throughout Europe and Australia. And the big idea there is that that the value of land ought to be held in common, and not necessarily by the state, but in common in terms of the commons before the Enclosure Acts where series laws have lasted for about 400 years in Europe. He's a son of Episcopal immigrants to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Anyway, that's enough of that. Nice picture, Joey, by the way.
Thanks.
So I take it that Joey is in Orlando as well?
Central Florida, yeah.
Okay.
I used to live in Orlando. Now I live in Titusville.
Right.
Okay, so you live near Mike Sorn.
Mike Sorn, he's been spending time between Northwest Orlando. Actually, no, he was staying with Eileen, but she moved to New Orleans, and but he was in a suburb up in Maryland last I saw.
Well,
Mike Sorn is a fellow who's joined us in person for other Central Florida meetups throughout the 20 teens. All right. Sorry, we can get caught up in different cul-de-sacs too. So.
And and we discovered, or maybe Joel Vinci discovered us by way of I guess meetup, browsing around. How did you find us? The Central Florida Philosophers Meetup group?
Honestly, I don't remember, but I stumbled upon you, or I joined you, and I was thoroughly impressed by Jairo, because Jairo and I share a philosophy of life in some respects, several respects, I think, but primarily when a question was asked and Jairo said very emphatically, "I don't know." And to me, that's the answer I give to myself when most things are raised. I don't know. Jairo and I may or may not part company on certain of these questions where he is content to let that answer rest and give finality to the question. And I might be more inclined to add, but I'm going to find out. I don't know if that makes any sense at all, but there you have it.
Wow. And then and when the pandemic started, I started forming these meetups on Saturday mornings from 7 onwards. And I gave that idea to Luis Del Pino, like Joel says Pino, but it's actually Pino. And maybe make it like into a podcast or something. And we got Rami in, and who else was an early and then these Canadians started intruding. Dominic Tersigny from Canada and Joel Schuster from Canada, both in Toronto. Who else?
And
Yeah, we haven't seen Dominic for a while.
Hyro actually turned a number of these conversations, which have gone all over the place, into podcasts that are available on Apple Podcasts and Stitcher and all the other places where podcasts can be found.
Tried
Under the
to
name
make
of
it a
Wake Up and
podcast.
I think you'll need to create maybe a link tree for us site with all the various places where the media can be found.
Maybe we need another pandemic to lock us up.
Oh no, just to give you more time to organize all the recorded material.
It is good for my business of teaching online, so.
I'm gonna have to stand closer so I can hear or turn up the volume on this television. I'm gonna pause out for just a moment to use the restroom.
So yes, many things happened during and after the pandemic and all those things. I guess
Yeah.
it got us using this technology more and more. Zooming for this and that, and making us lazy to go
Yeah.
out.
It made working remotely more popular or more of an accepted thing.
Yeah. There's a bunch of people at where I work that we hardly ever see them. They're working from home. Well, one of them is a lady that gave birth to her child, so she stayed at home but still works.
There you go.
At home.
So
Well,
did you guys already get into like discussing the topic, or is that how you do things, or?
yes, this topic of there is no objective reality. Oh, and before that, before that statement that I put on my Facebook, there was another one kind of related. They got Swami talking about it that I made.
Is
Well,
Swami still around? I haven't seen him in a long time.
Yes, I haven't seen him since maybe 2019 or 20 or so, when I saw him in a meetup that I formed.
Mhm.
But I hear of him in my Facebook
Okay.
when I post something and it gets him going. So what I posted that got him going is I was claiming that, well, it seems like the more knowledge we think we gain, well, I feel like the more the field of ignorance or knowledge of the unknown that we, it seems like what is unknown is expanding at a faster rate than what we know, like through science or whatever. Because when we pick up some bits in science, that causes us to have more questions that we never thought of asking. So it seems like what we don't know is ever expanding. So that makes me feel like I'm more ignorant, like there's more and more to know. So my ignorance is increasing, and my doubt of the knowledge I have acquired is insignificant. It's just it's never ending. So so what did I say in that post? That this was the post before. Oh, because I was hearing like a audio book that, like, whenever I'm doing things, I have an audio book hook going, and I take turns listening to many, and one of them that I picked up recently was talking about something like that, and then it stated a bold statement, and I said, "Wow, And so I gotta post that and then say, so does that mean that if that's true, then increasing our knowledge makes us more ignorant and or causes our ignorance? So it's futile to know more because it makes us more ignorant. Something like that. It's producing our ignorance. Our want for knowledge is producing our ignorance. And then Swami said the simple answer is no. So he believes that knowledge, like maybe scientific knowledge, will decrease our ignorance. Yes.
Well, another idea is that it's not what you know that gets you in trouble, but what you know, but which is not true. What you think you know, but turns out not to be the case. Hiro was going to share a reading about thought. You had it. You still have it in a tab on your phone there. We could use the there's a methodology in a what is it called? Oh, by the way, if you do this, you hold up your hand in Zoom long enough, it'll pop up a virtual hand, which I know that people in recordings can't see, but those of us in the live Zoom, there's a picture of a hand lifted. If anyone has something to say or wants to interject, they just lift up their hand. And then one of us will recognize that person, be quiet, and mention that person's name. You have something you wanted to add or say, and that's part of the way we go along. Joel, you may have been testing it, or you may have something to say.
Well, yeah, I was just testing it, but did you say that when people watch this on not Zoom, but on another platform, the hand doesn't show up?
That's correct.
Oh, I didn't know that. Thank you.
And I found I find out because I go back and watch them, sometimes.
Simultaneously.
Oh, yeah, of course.
YouTube
Yeah.
right now, they don't see the hands.
Yeah. Are you using Zoom or
I'm
something?
I'm on Zoom, but I'm also have the YouTube page open too, just to
Okay.
see what it automatically switches the screens. Well, it used to. I thought it would switch screens when people talk.
I gotta lower my hand here. So it used to be that it was just a tap button, but Zoom has updated, at least on the version on the platform. I think Ira is probably connecting through an Android. Joel and I are connecting through Mac OS. I don't know what you're connecting through, maybe Mac OS or Windows.
Windows.
Windows, yeah. Maybe you still have the button on the Windows version, but
Yeah,
they
there's a-
eliminated it on Mac OS, and I have to literally hold it for that long in order for it to pop up now.
there should be a React button at the bottom.
There is,
Yes.
but my React button has exactly two options. Play chime for raised hands and recognized hand gestures.
Click on the heart itself.
Oh,
Yeah.
man, I've been clicking on the little upward pointing chevron the entire time instead of clicking on the full React button. Yeah, there it is. Thank you for that training. So in Agile, what are they called? Lean coffees, or it's basically short meetings where people get together. Is it called a scrum? I don't know if anyone here is familiar with Agile. Sprint. Well, there's sprint, but then there's also how the meetings are conducted.
Agile.
And if someone proposes a topic, people will do like thumbs up or thumbs down. And we could do a thumbs up, thumbs down for, oh, look at that. For whether they want to, in terms of where the conversation would go next. So do we want to hear Hiro's like the reading that he had for us, something about thanking and time, or do we want to go next and into whatever is top on Joey's mind, since he's our new guest, and I figure there's probably time enough for both, but whichever the way next would be, and whoever wants to vote. And Hiro's our host here, so let's say we'll say, do we want to talk about whatever is on Joy's mind next, or do we want to maybe level things out and by listening to the meditation that Hiro has for us? Or Joel, do you have a preference?
No, I'm good with either, but
Okay.
um,
Joey, do you have a preference into which one to do first?
Well, I was curious about the, having discussion about the topic, so that's kind of what I was expecting.
Okay,
But I don't want to shut anything down if it's.
sure. Well, there's room for them both, but some people have to go to other places at different times, so I want to make sure that what you came here for is actually accomplished.
We got up at 9, so I don't know if you guys go beyond that or not.
All right, well, let's discuss the topic, and then is that okay that at 9 we go into the reading, Hyro? That you have for us?
Yes, the reading was related to what we were reading, Isaiah. Or maybe something that you said. Something maybe about, or it it brought up the idea of being, oh, of the God or whatever that is so, seems to be so omniscient that that maybe knows the future and is kind of controlling it, and that God will be taking care of us and doing, so it's superior to the sham gods. And so if there's such a God that can do that, then we should be grateful. And then there was a word that I read, something, that something is being, mm, that the universe is taking care of us by design or something. So I was going to see if I could find it, and I couldn't. And then we got our special guest Joey Fisher, and our always special guest or ongoing guest, uh, hmm, Joel in Canada. And there's a topic. Yes. So let's go on with the topic of there is there is no objective reality. That's my claim.
And I object, but I've already issued my objection, so that's been
Oh,
thus far. Let's
oh,
hear some more thoughts in terms of what Joey feels on the matter or thinks.
hmm.
Um,
Ah,
yeah, I'm always researching or watching things, lots of YouTube videos to learn about science or quantum physics and stuff like that, what they say about reality. Of course, most people probably heard about like the holographic universe and that kind of thing. So I like to look into that kind of thing and kind of study it, and just the idea like of course there's like psychedelics people have experiences on that experience reality in a different way. Usually they come out of their psychedelic experience going like, this is not reality here. This, when I took psychedelics, I was, I was able to see these other realities and dimensions and things, and even met entities and whatnot. So, I find that interesting, and haven't done psychedelics in quite a long time, but I am kind of curious to have like a ayahuasca ceremony experience or something like that, or maybe just could be something a little lighter like psychedelic mushrooms or something, to maybe explore some of that. But I also have alternative reasons for maybe wanting to do that, which is more of like having a ego death type of thing. But I don't know if that relates to um, you know this conversation about objective reality.
All connected in some way.
Yeah. Oh, ashwagandha there. Oh, ashwagandha. That's the those are the like legal mushrooms. You can take that to benefit your brain, right? Yeah. I actually take a mushroom mixture. It's like a powdered mushroom thing, as the ashwagandha and the lion's mane and the cordyceps and all that. So I'm trying to, benefit my brain by taking that stuff. And I'm kind of ADHD, so I kind of hoping, some of that kind of helps me have a little bit better focus and little improvement to my ADHD symptoms and whatnot.
We have a fellow by the name of Jorge Hernandez who sometimes joins us, and he too is considering doing what's the one that you drank that you had mentioned?
Is that the ayahuasca?
The ayahuasca experience. Yeah, he's hoping to do the same. He's actually already RSVP to join us next Saturday morning.
Okay. Yeah, I know there's a few different places nearby, like within a couple hours drive, that does, ayahuasca ceremonies that are led by shamans and whatever.
He's actually from Acapulco, Mexico, so he's been to the Aztec temples where a lot of that practice is more closer to where a lot of it originated and was discovered practice. I think I know he's based out of Texas right now, but he joins us, and also he joins Stoic Dan's Wednesday evening Stoics regular Zoom now in Espanol.
I had met the guy that runs or is the leader of the Stoic group at a game jam. So I go to these events called game jams or hackathons, and sometimes they're entertainment, like you're making a game that's entertainment, and then sometimes it's for making games and applications that are for a specific industry or something. So we had like a healthcare hackathon, and we have one for the military. We have one for space. It's called the Indie Galactic Space Jam. So they're run by this game developer interest group that meets up once a month, but then they also put on these game jam / hackathons. And I went to the healthcare one, and I met, what's his name that runs the Stoic group?
He goes by Stoic Dan. He's Dan Lampert on Facebook.
So I did a demonstration of my game, which was virtual reality, and it was for gamifying physical therapy. So like you go into virtual reality and you do these different exercises, and it can track your hands, it can track your head movement, and you do like these physical therapy things to progress you through like an adventure game, kind of like a role-playing game where you go through like and I was calling it Rehab Realms, and kind of had like a fantasy Dungeons and Dragons type of aesthetic to it and theme to it. And then after I did my demo, Dan approached me and he's like, "Oh, I'd like to hear more about your idea here, and I run this group, and I think he said another group, and gave me his card." So I've been meaning to drop in on one of his meetings, to reconnect with him, because it's been several months since that event.
Pretty welcome. He does 3 to 4 meetup Zooms. Well, meetups a week. 3 of them are regular Zooms, or 4 of them are regular Zooms now. Sometimes there's an in-person Saturday, but usually at a Panera. Usually right now at the one in Altamont Springs.
Yeah, I go up to Orlando for different things. It's just an hour drive or 45 minutes to an hour drive or so. So I'll go over there for different events, and I'm always trying to get something going with like my application ideas, game ideas for virtual reality and augmented reality and that kind of thing. So anything that kind of inspires me and keeps me motivated in that direction, and possibilities of collaboration and stuff like that are definitely interesting to me, especially if somebody's got the money, got the funds, and wants to do some kind of help out with a project financially or something, get an investor or something like that. So
sometimes thought of making what it would take to create the digital version of Joel's game Vinci, which we may or may not play in this hour. He's already got the board set up. He's always ready to play this game that he loves.
So are you a programmer, Joel?
No, no, I'm a ludologist. I just look at games as games per se.
Mhm.
And Rami rather mentioned that my game might be programmable to be played online.
Okay,
And
so it's not a programmed game then.
no, no, no. It's a real physical game with real people.
Okay.
17 space, it's basically
Oh,
imperial
wait a
captivated
minute.
rounds.
That ties into objective reality. What Joel said, it's a real game. As in physical.
Right.
So virtual is non-physical. So it's programmed. So uh we are programming our reality. So we are in effect generating or rendering our subjective reality. And so behind that, there's just code. So you could say that the code is the objective reality, but not really, because if you were to look at the code, it would be very boring to look at the code that generates our subjective reality. If we were able to discover the assembly language program that generates our subjective reality that's common to all sentient beings. So that's one way that I like to think about it. That's why there's really no objective reality, because it wouldn't make sense to discover it. It would be the fabric of the universe, and just looking at it, would it help? Well, so we have to deal with our subjective reality. Well, maybe if we know the objective reality as a code, we could maybe tweak it for our benefit, maybe mess it up, maybe put bugs in it. What do you think about that?
I have to interject um, in terms of uh, gateways to viewing the world from different perspectives. There have been chemical references such as ayahuasca. Um, but one of our sometimes attendees, Mike Taylor, a retired UCF maths professor, has also given us the reference, who, by the way, spends a lot of time in worlds. He writes science fiction stories and math textbooks. He's done one on algebraic geometry, for instance, using all the formatting tools for that. And he, as an example, because he spends a lot of time in different worlds, not through chemical means, but through imaginative means, oftentimes using forms of developed mathematical thinking, because that's how he spent most of his life developing his brain, being able to be in these different realms. As an illustrative example, has brought up in, previously, the Chinese philosopher who discussed having dreamed to have been a butterfly, experiencing everything as a butterfly, and then waking up and wondering if he was still that butterfly, dreaming that he was a man. So multiple pathways to viewing everything from different perspectives.
One thing that changed something for me recently is because I've always heard about the idea that we're in a simulation, and I always thought of that more of like a computer way, like we're in like the simulation is happening in a computer, and it's running in a computer, and it's all programmed and stuff like that. But then there's I don't know what kind of philosophy it follows or whatever, but this guy was saying he's some kind of a spiritual guru that he has like I think things like speak to him, like I don't know if it's like channeling or something, but somehow he claims to see, you know, higher dimensions and on the other side, and people entities or something speak to him. But he was describing like you know, he's seeing like that, you know, this isn't reality is not what we perceive it to be. And then he was saying because it was in an interview, so the interviewer was asking him, are we in a simulation? And he's like, yes, but it's not how you think. It's not like a computer. It's more of like it's simulated like on a spiritual level, or something beyond, like, you know, other dimensions, other planes and stuff like that. So it's like it might be that we're like a hologram is projected from a 2D surface or something, but there's some other type of medium that is projecting our reality for us, but it's not necessarily computer, you know. And I never heard of a simulation theory that wasn't computer, you know. And that's what kind of made me start thinking a little differently, like, oh, okay, so maybe there's you know, there's entities or some kind of existence, consciousness happening on the higher dimensions, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth dimensions or something. Maybe it just keeps going. For some reason, I always heard there's like a cap at like the 11th dimension or something like that. You can't go higher than that or something. But I do find it interesting to think, like, you know, like when I hear stuff about UFOs, things like that appear, they're like orbs and like these geometric 3D geometric shapes. You know, there's pyramids and spheres and cubes and such, and then like, and sometimes the way they seem to appear and disappear and morph and stuff like that. And I've always kind of studied things about like, how do you perceive the fifth dimension, or like looking at a hypercube or something like that, and watching a hypercube animated in 3D space, and you know, you realize you're just seeing like a portion. It's like a three-dimensional view of a four-dimensional object, that kind of thing. So I'm always trying to wrap my mind around that. And then, like, you know, and I feel like I had said earlier when I was introducing myself, like if you're in the fifth dimension, you could, just like a, you know, 3D person can see into a 2D world. If there was people in a 2D world, flat land or whatever, you know, the fifth dimensional entities could easily see our fourth dimension and just, you know, put their finger down in a point in time or something. And one thing that always kind of helped me conceptualize that is the movie Interstellar, because they did like this way of viewing the fourth dimension. There was like, he was outside the fourth dimension looking into it. You could kind of scroll through time and it looked like 3D instead of 4D. So I thought that was interesting. So anyway, that's one of my new things that I'm kind of processing right now, is like a holographic universe that is, or virtual, what is a simulation that's not computer but more, you know, because I was figuring like kind of like Elon Musk says, like, oh yeah, if we're so close to technology right now. You play a video game and it looks so realistic, and you know, some of them you can't even tell that you're in a video game. And if we have that technology now, and it's only going to get better, the likelihood that we're actually in a simulation is like 100%, you know. And like that we're in the chance that we're actually in base reality is so low, you know, like, so that when he says that it makes me think of a computer, where like, you know, it could be a simulation within a simulation within a simulation and so on.
The 13th Floor explored that concept, if you've ever seen that movie.
I haven't. Is that the Quentin Tarantino one, or just something?
No, 13th Floor. I don't recall who exactly made it, but it explores just that concept of simulation within a simulation. It's one of the you know, high points of the film.
Okay, all right.
Also, minor reference. Yeah, Interstellar really referenced the idea of the Tesseract when it was doing the as you were describing. And I was reading something. I'd have to go through my browser history to find out what it was I was reading at the time or where I heard it. But this idea that there's a set of beings whose job it is to be between objective reality and our subjective experience of reality. And that's all they're there to do, is just to keep us from understanding the actual reality. Like, as though they're I suppose they'd be analogous to, you're familiar with the analogy of Plato's cave and the priestly class that does the shadows of the wall. But that's what they're doing, is keeping us caught up in the shadows, not actually seeing the true reality.
Okay. That's kind of what I think, like the UAPs are doing or something, like we can't ever see them clearly and get exactly what they're doing, but they're able to correct their mistakes, because like, oh shoot, I accidentally crashed the UFO here, let me go change time and pick that up again or something. Oh, they saw us, like they could go back in time and just change it so we don't see what they're doing or something. I don't know.
So you and Tucker Carlson both. Tucker Carlson has that same view, by the way. He's mentioned it on his program. And more recently, at least, through now that he's got Tucker Carlson Network. And also, there was something else. You were saying reality. Did you ever watch The Prisoner?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, so there was the original Prisoner done around, I think, 1969. And then there was the AMC remake in the late 2000s, I think around 2008 perhaps, or 9. I've watched both sets. They're both pretty good. They're both unique programs. The Prisoner, the 2009, more explores of, it's all these people who are essentially broken, who are in this virtual world because it's a controllable world that they can better understand, because it's a reduced sort of subset. But that's an interesting way of guiding you into that place through the narration. The Prisoner original series, there's an episode where there's a computer. I forget what sense of control that computer has in that episode, but he has one question that helps him overcome the computer, and that is, he asks the computer why. Goes off and isn't able to come back with any sort of response. Of course, it's 1960s computer, and they're having used teletype to communicate with it. These days, if we ask why, just that question, open and blankly, the current state of the what's present in our environment is the LLM. You type it into the search engine, and it'll give you some sort of experimental generative AI response. In fact, I wonder, let's make a recording of it, since this is an archive. I'm gonna share, and let me not use Chrome, but let's use Brave browser and share that and see what happens if we type in why and see what it comes back with. It didn't give me a generative AI.
صباحا.
And it's 9 a.m. So if you have to go, we understand. We're here every Saturday, and we welcome all comers to come enjoy and hang out and chat whatever's on their mind, and we'll all give feedback with each other.
And so this actually starts at 7 a.m.?
Yes, if you want to join it really starts when Jairo opens up the room. As he wakes up. Sometimes it's a little bit before 7, sometimes a little bit after. If it goes 15 minutes past, I usually text bomb him or give him a call to start the room going. That's the weeks I'm in attendance.
On meetup.com, they're all set for 8 a.m. So
Yeah, I put 8 so that people that were interested in learning to play Vinci could try it out or something.
yeah, I am curious about this game, because I do
The
love.
cure for TDS, Trump derangement syndrome.
Oh yeah. But I'll have to check out the game, Da Vinci, or yeah, I'll check out the game another time. But I do have to run for now. So
You can watch us play in previous episodes.
oh, that's true. I have the YouTube open right now, so I'll go back and watch the recording.
Well,
Like,
I'll send you a link to one from last year. That's a good example of the game.
Okay,
Nice meeting you via video conference for the first time, Joey.
good meeting you guys. Good seeing you again, Haro. All
excellent.
right, see you guys later.
You're into a lot of interesting stuff that I'm interested in too. Thank you, Joey.
Look
Good
forward to
seeing
future
you.
discussions then. All right, bye-bye.
Bye. Wow, that was good. Thanks, Rami, for inviting Joey Fisher.
I look forward to hope see him
But-
back again many times.
And how is Joe in Toronto?
I'm good, Hiro. Thank you. Yeah, it was nice to see a fresh face here. I didn't know you started at 7. I usually don't even get here till 9, but I got up a little early today. I'm glad I did so I could meet Joey.
Yes, yes. Starting at 7 is good with Rami because we can get into what's on our minds, like we did this morning. Is very good.
Well, at least half of us did. Thank you.
Um,
Did you want to do any of the reading or the exercise to give us kind of reset us back down to a base state?
Yes, yes. The reading in Isaiah was very good because it's saying, "Don't worry, be happy. I got, I got, I got it. I got you covered." So there's some kind of, some kind of, there must be a purpose. There's something going on here, and we don't know what it is, do we, Mr. Jones? So, and they reminded me of the word, maybe being grateful, but no, another word, that there's a universal something protecting us, and it could be related to simulation. That when when a when a game is created, there would be a purpose, and the game designer, the ludologist, tweaks the rules to make sure that the game is interesting and fair. So that, for example, in the game of Vinci, maybe at one point, the author, the designer of the game says, "Wait a minute, it's boring at this time. Let's add this rule to make it less boring and more fair." Or and maybe, wait a minute, what if I added this rule and that it would introduce another dimension of possibilities? And maybe that's what happens in all rules that are created. Like, say, the rule of in a sports game, you might add this rule that says, wait a minute, we need to add this rule to keep this from happening again, because when we went through it, it didn't come out too good. So let's add this rule. Maybe that happens in government too. So maybe the designer of the universe has been tweaking the rules, the laws of physics. Well, maybe since the Big Bang, or no, maybe it was before that. Maybe he was doing some prototypes of the universe and saying, okay, we need this law of physics here. No, but then if we need that law of chemistry. No, let's see. But there was a reading that I read. I wanted to pull it up. That it uses a word, something like that built into the universe. There's something there that is going to be designed to make it all worthwhile, I would say, or maybe that's what we hope that it would be. Maybe that's our hope, our sense. We're trying to make sense of it all, and we're hoping that it's going to be fair. Hmm. Hmm. Let's see. I'm going to. What do you
It
think?
doesn't have to
I'm
be
gonna.
fair. Maybe it just has to be good.
Oh, that's good. It it has to be good, and it's up to us to make it fair, perhaps. Hmm.
Hey,
Hmm.
like that.
Hmm.
It reminds me of when my friend was going to school to get his law degree. He also came from a background very similar to Joey's. He was working doing simulation work for the military.
Hmm.
Law degree while he was doing that. And he and his fellow law student were drinking, I guess, after studies, stating, it really is just us. That was their view of justice. I'm sure a lot of law students come up with that simple little realization. In terms of how to make things fair. What are those pieces of plastic? Are they stand-ins for pegs, or do they have a special other purpose?
Yeah, they're these, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah, they're the needles for testing your diabetes.
I see. Are you using them as pegs, or
Yeah,
and where'd you find the sticker on your little tic-tac-toe board there?
that
Hmm.
was at a manufacturing group where where they do welding. So this is a guy that does artistic welding, and he had these stickers, so he gave me one. Tig Devil, he calls himself.
Tig devil. Or maybe you pronounce it Teague in Canada. I don't know.
I
Tig
don't
is
know
a
either.
form of welding.
Yeah, that's right. That's what it would be.
I'm
Tig,
gonna step away and
is that how you
take
pronounce
care of
it?
my wife for a moment. Tig is how we pronounce it um, in the United States, the regions I'm familiar with, TIG welding. But I don't know, maybe there's a regional difference, slightly different dialect of English you speak there in Canada.
I don't know. You may be right, but yeah, that's exactly what it is. TIG welding. And I was admitted into the welding brotherhood.
Wow. You're like a free welder. Instead of a Freemason, you're a free welder.
I'm a free welder,
That's
yes.
very secretive.
Yes, we can't talk about it too
Mm.
much, but I'll tell you anything you want to know. Mainly because I don't know any.
Mm. Let's see if I can share this. I got the phone that can share well. Let's see. Oh, that's what I was trying to read to Rami earlier. Uh, uh, there's a exercise that I would like to practice whenever I can. The exercise, or maybe thoughts. Thought one: watch time passing, and also watch the mind flow exactly as time passes. There is no reversibility in the flow of time or the flow of the mind. Oh, so so that means that we can't relive time, or when we try to, that's just recalling what happened, and that's really fuzzy, or we end up making it up. So we put a little bias into our recollections, don't we? Number two, try to say without break, or it could be whatever word you want. Try to have no intervening thoughts. Maybe it could be Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. Intervening thoughts. Oh, that may be a good way to quiet the mind. like a mantra. Come up with a mantra. And put the mind into Shanti. You will find that some stray thought will get in that comes through the loophole of a moment of obscuration in your awareness. Number 3, think of one subject and then make a radical shift to another subject. Wow. I'll think of that. Number 4, think of whom you love most. Each time the mind moves away from your mental vision of the dear one, bring it back to the same subject by recalling a lovable incident. That's a good one. Because it's easy for us to think of the one loves most. It's easy to concentrate on them, maybe. Number 5, allow the beauty and serenity of your joyous inside to sit with you as your greatest friend, your truly beloved. Oh, that's interesting. Make your inside or make yourself your greatest friend and your true beloved. That might be. Well, it depends on who you think you are. Another exercise. Oh, here's the good part. In the letter, the Guru writes, a gentle, constant, and faithful dialogue with grace. Oh, grace, amazing grace, has the miraculous power to wear away or dispel the dark forebodings of negativity, which comes in the form of confusion, doubt, lethargy, frustration, a sense of being deceived or rejected, blocks self-pity, oh poor me, or the need to wait in anxiety and impatience. So take some time to consider your dialogue with grace. How great thou art. How it has helped to dispel negativity and how it can be made more constant and vital. Apply your insights gently, yet without delay. Share your insights and experiences. I could open it, re-download. No. Oh, yeah, that's from that document. Letters to an aspiring yoga. Letter 1. Oh, so I'm going through all the letters so that I may become a yogi. I aspire to become a yogi. Yoga could be interpreted as union with God, or maybe union with our amazing grace. From Guru Nitya's book, Living the Science of Harmonious Union. Oh, yes, it's something I have to think about. Or that's my homework assignment. Oh, but I got too much homework to do. Yeah, maybe I could start off the day with breakfast. Oh, I don't have breakfast ready. Oh, maybe I could cook something. Oh. Let's see. Oui. Let's see. Where did the dog go? Naya. 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 Naya, Naya, Naya. There's Naya the dog. I was afraid I would get a little bit, I had a little bit of a fear that I might have let the dog go freely. But no, the dog had entered the house. Now I can go. Uh, come up with something to eat. Oh boy. Oh, it's 9:16. Oh man, nobody's woken up. We have certain activities to do this morning. Oh, hmm. I'm gonna take this in my room. I can do something. Hmm. Mhm. Oh. Oh, my sister says, did I take the dog out? Yes, I did. Ya, ya saqué a Naya. Ya saqué a Naya. Ya saqué a Naya. Okay. Oh, take this out and this in the garage. So what? Amazing grace, how sweet the sound.
I'll be back later on. Wife and I are gonna have breakfast too together, some salad or I don't know. I don't think you can come at lunch when it's before 10 in the morning. So catch you. I'll check in again maybe in 30 or 40 minutes.
I'm hungry. I'm gonna eat some breakfast. And maybe Joe went to eat some breakfast. And we'll be right back. Stay tuned. Oh, maybe I could sing songs while I'm eating breakfast. Let's see. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound. Let's see. All right. Ya saqué a Naya.
¿Vas a ir a la oficina?
Hoy es sábado.
No, pero tú decías que ibas a llevar a... No, claro que no vas a llevar a mi mamá.
A la función.
No, ¿tú vas a ir?
Ah, no llevo a la Bertasilia. No llevo, no, no llevo a la Bertasilia. Pero a ver,
No, mi mamá.
no, es que digo que no voy a llevar a Bertasilia. Ujú, ujú, ujú. No, no. Uy, se escapó la Bertasilia. Mire, no está la Bertasilia. Bertasilia, no está Bertasilia. No, no está. Where's Bertasilia? My mother. It's not there. Let's see. Ujú, ujú, ujú. Bertasilia. Es, está Pipi. Bertasilia is pipiing. Ya pasé a Nadia. Que a las 11. Uy, y son las 9:30. Apure, apure. So I need to eat breakfast.
No, varias veces te vas a cerrar porque yo quería ir al gimnasio.
Oh,
¿Tú te vas ahora?
hoy es sábado.
Yo
Y
sé.
tú dijiste que tú cuidaras a Bertasilia cuando nosotros salíamos
¿Para dónde se va?
para la función
Tanto.
del, de la de Bertasilia. No, yo creo que a Arely se queda. Sí, voy a ir solamente con los hijos. Ujú. Ok.
Bueno, acá-
No, pero Arely se va a quedar. No, Arely se va a quedar. Ella no va a ir. Y ella dijo que se quedaba, ¿no? Voy a asegurar. Voy a preguntarle. Mm. Arelis, tú te vas a quedar, ¿correcto? Sí, sí, Arelis se va a quedar. 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 Ella va a cuidar a Berta Silvia. Tú puedes salir a lo que quieras hacer.
Esto es de mi mamá.
Mm, mm,
Y del baño.
mm, mm, Voy a ver qué me hago. No,
Mira, ¿por qué no ofrece un jugo de limón y me hace su mami? Sí.
mm,
Y yo traje mm,
mm, yo ya había tomado jugo de limón, pero yo eché el de esta botella. Ok. ¿De limón amarillo o verde? I'm going to make lemon or squeeze a lemonade into water. Mhm. But before I'm going to pour water in here. Mhm. To replenish.
Yes, we do, but you could, it'd be a good idea for the lesson to have.
Mhm. Pour water in the filter. I'm pouring water in the filter before I take water out. To make sure there's water in the filter. In the reservoir, I fill it up with more water than I think I'll take. There. It goes through that. The sediment. And it comes out pure water. Amazing. It's a Nikken. Nikken? Nikken. Aquapore. Gravity water system. It is an older model. They run around $500 only. And now we'll pour water in here. Wait. Pure, delicious water. No fluoride. Oh, maybe there is. Oh, I wonder if this removes fluoride.
I'll be canceling Peacock.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because WWE is moving to Netflix, so I don't need both.
Mhm.
I don't know.
I'm going to get.
I'm just gonna downgrade it to where it's not the premium service.
I'm going to use this to
Because that's
squeeze
what
out
WWE.
the juice.
99
Good
cents.
morning.
And I would
Because they got their own special for
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah.
They go to the side and so I'll do the premium.
Oh, wait. Does Naya smell funny? A little bit. Not too noticeable. Oh, good morning, Berta Cilia. Say hello to Joel. Let's see, flip it over. Let's see. Oh, like this. Hi. This. Hola, Joel.
Hola. Hola,
Hi.
mamá.
Hola, Berta Cilia. Ay. Ese es Joel. Joel en español. Joel.
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 The new chicken, and there's someone.
It rhymes with Noel.
Yeah.
The first
Joel, Joel.
Noel. Feliz Navidad. Feliz
Feliz
Hanukkah.
Navidad to you.
Feliz Hanukkah. Uh-huh. Oh, no breakfast yet. ¿Tienes hambre? Are you hungry? ¿Tienes hambre? Sí. Tiene hambre. ¿Por qué no le han dado desayuno? Ay. Voy a investigar. Voy a ir a ver el chef. A ver qué está haciendo para ver, Cecilia. A ver. Oh, mire. Aquí. Oh. Uy, uy, la verdad, tiene que comer eso. Le van a echar yogur. Ya, voy a cortar. Voy a cortar. I'm going to cut this. Mhm. I'm going to cut this. You see, flip it over. Oh, I have this. I need a knife. You see.
Oh, riveting content. You're watching a hieroglyphic breakfast.
I need a third hand. Hey, 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 hey. Yes. This is you cut a lemon like this. Then you place it in this. What is this called? The KitchenAid lemon squeezer. Mhm. Yeah, wait a minute. Un geo. Me he hecho perfume en la boca,
No,
en el pelo. ¿Está aquí?
muy about girls.
Ah. Maybe first I wash my hands with soap. Mm. 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 No, you can cook me.
Pero antes de irte a la cualquiera
Mm. No sé por qué no hizo pupí. Mm. Okay.
yo no puedo sacar la policía.
Mm. Mm. Ah, ay-
Walmart.
ayer olía. Ayer está. Ay.
They're called thin cut.
Oh, thin slice, yeah, that does make sense.
Mm. 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 Mm.
Ay, ya se fue. Lo tomo ahorita porque. Oh, someone just threw up on video.
Mm. 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 Mm.
Okay, Roger. I don't like that. That, you know
Mm.
that, I mean, you're.
Mm. Mm.
And that smell.
Mm.
I can instantly smell even though I
Mm.
don't know where it is.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
Oh, God.
Ah. 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 Mm. Mm. Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
Alright, I'm good.
Hi, Stacy.
I'm.
Mm.
Nice chicken breast.
Reminds the level.
Hold on, I'm done. That's,
So
we're going to the.
Just.
let's get
bedroom.
get started. It looks like we have a few guests,
Jesus, come on.
Oh, wait a moment.
and we'll try to
Thin
work
slice,
on
we're gonna
wrapping
do
up.
thin slice. It's not gonna be 38 minutes like I do with the normal whole chicken breast.
Oh, oh, no.
It looks like so.
Turn it on, mute it.
On the call.
Leave it muted. I.
Mm. Yeah. I'm going to drink lemonade. No, drink lemonade. Mm. Mm. Mhm.
No.
Mm.
Senior.
Mm. I'm going to put
Then we have Dean.
Cook, thin, or bake.
I'm going to put vinegar, apple cider vinegar in my lemonade.
425.
Huh?
Ay, no tomes esto.
12 minutes. Oh, that's
Mm.
nice. Cool. Now I'd like to go back to being over here, then we'll wait for the oven to preheat and then.
Yeah, you know,
Yeah.
Tú estabas ahí, yo no iba a hacer it. Nah.
I've done Vern Hiram's boys, for someone Ralph, I'm good to go for the week.
Mm.
Alright. So we're gonna go for fish.
I'm good to go for the week, the month, and the year. That is the,
By the bedroom.
that's the grossest sound.
Oh, they got the side by side fridge there. Harold's sister's, her brother's house.
I would rather hear someone take a full-blown diarrhea shit.
Disgusting sounds too, I hear. Oh, well, and my lovers are eating.
Yeah,
Who can
not
be
my fault,
careless
you're
with
eating
their
all
work?
that salad.
They got a glass top too. This is white, but the top is black. Okay, what now?
No more milk.
I'm going to eat soy milk powder. Mhm. And water. I'll mix soy milk powder with water. And maybe I'll add something to it. Let's see, what can I add to the soy milk powder? Let's see, I'll come up with something. Let's see. Oh, roasted barley. Oh, no, that won't, that might not work. No. Huh. Long tea. Oh, what is this? I'll call again. What is that? Cornstarch. Let's see. What's over there? Oh, oh yeah. Herbs. Let's see. What's up there? Ah, this is a tea. This is fresh green tea. And this one is oolong tea. I'll try oolong tea. I'm going to do oolong tea. Oh, what's that over there? Oh, what is this? Coconut flour. Coconut flour? Excellent source of fiber.
Haro, it looks like we lost Joel at one point in the process. Did he go up to another event?
Yeah, he left us.
It's okay.
But he may have gone to his humanist. Oh.
That would be okay too. He left. The Vinci board is still set up and transmitting from his other station.
Mhm. Yeah, it's free advertising. Yes, he. Yes,
I'm gonna mute myself for a moment.
this episode has been sponsored by Vinci Board Systems Incorporated.
If only this does not yet exist. But wouldn't I mean it wouldn't be a problem if we got corporate sponsorship, would it? Or would it?
Oh no. Oh, this has been sponsored by Vinci Unincorporated. Yeah, I feel better. Let's see.
All right, I gotta put
I'll
breakfast
try
number 2 into the oven.
this and that and that. I'm gonna make up a concoction. Oh no. Oh no. Is this mine? Yes, this one's mine. It's got yellow. I added apple cider vinegar to my lemon juice. Yeah. Ew. It's not very delightful taste. Oh. 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 These rolled oats. Wow. Organic. I'm going to cook. No, I'm going to pour. No, I'm going to put a bag of this tea into hot water. Oh, into this big bowl. And then I'm going to add to that oolong tea. I'm going to add. I'm going to add to the oolong tea some soy milk powder. No, yes, soy milk powder to the oolong tea. And then I'm going to add some coconut flour. So this has never been done before. So don't try this at home. It's very dangerous. Well, no, not really, but it, who knows what could happen to me. So if I come out alive, it's okay. No, but if, who knows if it's delicious or not? Maybe it doesn't taste good. Maybe I could add something, a sweetener to it, like maybe honey. Oh, I could stop sharing. I was sharing. I was sharing the Zoom. Wait a minute. Let's see. I will pour hot water in. Pour hot water. I will pour hot water into this big bowl. Ooh, wow. Ooh, that's too hot. And then I will put this oolong tea. The best oolong tea. They put the best oolong tea. Maybe it's from Taiwan. Goodyoung.com. Goodyoung.com. Yeah. Yeah. There it goes. Wow. And then now it's in the hot water. Oh, oh, is it? Is it? Oh, where is it? Oh, what? Oh, look at that. None. There we go. I had my settings, a background of something spacious.
You're up at night.
Electrical. And now it's okay. Now I got a bag of the best oolong tea.
Oh, oolong. That
Oh,
stuff didn't
oolong.
drop to on my stomach. I
Oh,
think
oolong.
Iron Goddess. I
Mhm.
could not. Don't think I would do oolong again.
Mm. Now I will let it come out of the bag. Let it, what's the technical word for it? Let it sip? No, is it through
Steep.
osmosis? Seep?
Steep. Yep.
Steep? Let it steep.
Steep is the technical term.
Is it coming out of the bag through osmosis? Or just through
Probably,
the
yeah.
filter?
The hot water probably
It's,
breaks through the wall of those. Well, they're already broken walls because tea is a crushed product, crushed leaves. So some
wow.
of those cells and their innards would be broken open.
And I will I will try it. I will try the tea without any other ingredients.
Mhm.
See how it tastes.
Really, let's see. Recommended steep time.
Oh,
Does
what's
it
the
say on the,
recommended sleep time?
does it
Let's
say
see.
on yeah.
Let's see. Here's the box. It says Taiwan Oolong tea. It says directions, preparation of tea. Aha. Oh, use one bag per cup. Pour boiling water over the bag. Oh no, I failed. I poured the boiling water. Well, it wasn't boiling, it was very hot. And then I I put the bag in the water and it says brew for 3 to 5 minutes
3
as
to 5 minutes
desired.
is your, there you go.
Then
Like a weak tea or
remove the
strong tea?
bag. You can make it twice. Oh, I can use the bag twice and make some more. This will last
Silk or
time.
polymer-based pouch?
3 to 5 minutes as desired.
Thank you, Woodwin.
Oh, I will try 3 minutes. No, 4 minutes.
Yeah.
No, 4.5 minutes.
Well, if you oversteep it, you might not have as good of an experience. We tend to get more sensitive, or at least I do. I don't know
Let's
about
see.
you. Maybe you
Timer.
need a stronger.
Let's see. 4, 0, 0.
Oh, hold on. It took you at least 2 minutes to read the box.
Oh no. That'll be 6 minutes. Oh no. So I'll stop it and put 2.
How about maybe 30 seconds to reset things? Maybe just 90.
Oh no. 1:30. Start. Now it doesn't work.
That's because you haven't pressed start yet, Hyro.
Oh, I have to go timer.
Yeah, but by now it's going to be like 118.
Oh no, 1:20.
Okay. There you go, lower left. No, you still haven't pressed start yet. It's below the button you've pressed thinking, I was wrong. I apologize. Your microwave is different than my microwave.
Oh. So this
You have a
one
timer
press
button, kitchen timer, yeah.
and use the same timer button to start it.
You have
So
a
it's
Whirlpool?
very efficient and intelligent.
Yeah.
Oh, it is a Whirlpool.
It's they make
Oh,
they make them as you've described them.
yes, the engineers were trained in NASA.
I don't know where they were trained.
No, just kidding.
But they had sense to them. Oh, you got 5 knobs on your Whirlpool. Is that also Whirlpool oven range?
Oh,
Your glass
what is
top?
this one?
Or your sister or your brother's glass top? I don't know. Your family's.
Ceramic.
Oh,
Oh, somebody's cooking oatmeal. What brand is this? You can't see the brand. Oh, it's a GE.
okay.
GTE.
Jet engines, light bulbs, ovens, washing machines, and components to nuclear weapons.
What is this one? What brand is this one? I can't see.
Maybe behind a magnet somewhere. Maybe in the upper right-hand corner. Upper right-hand, there's a medallion also.
Oh, GE.
There's a memorandum. In memorandum. To the left of the GE. Yeah. Yes, that one.
Antonio Caravia, August 25, 1949. He's 10 years older than I was. And he went to the other side or some other side, February 6th, 2017.
What can you tell us about him?
Oh, he was married to my sister, Sylvia Caravia, who was a few years older than him, and she passed away a year and some months after him. Let's see, June 30th, 2018. Okay.
So he went first.
Psalm 23. El Señor es mi pastor. Nada me faltará. Oh, wow. That ties in to the amazing grace and to Isaiah and to virtual reality simulation, the designer of the simulator. And nothing me faltará. Nothing will I lack. Except I lack food for breakfast still. I'm
Okay.
making.
And I need to go
Oh,
pull the thing
I
to,
think I heard the timer, so now I can drink.
I gotta go pull some food out of the oven.
Whoa, wow. It's the best oolong tea I've had in who knows, a year. I don't drink teas very often. And this is the first oolong tea I bought recently. Mm. Mm. And maybe it's good for losing weight. Let's see if it works. Go ahead, lose it. Go away. Lose it. Mm. It did. Mhm. May my belly come down. Mm. And mhm. And now I will drink some more. Oh, I can pull this out. Oh no. Mm. 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 I can put the tea here. Mm. Este té se le puede poner en el ojo de la Bertasilia.
No, pues ya no lo tienen.
Okay. I'm going to mix soy milk. Voy a comer leche de soya. Lo voy a echar al té. Going to add soy milk to the tea. Well, what's left of it? Going to use a spoon. It's good. There. There. It's high protein. High protein. Where is Let's see. Oh, it's got cooking instructions. You can, to cold water, add 6 to 7 tablespoons and mix it until dissolved. Tastes better when served cold. Oh no, I added it to warm water, to my tea water, what was left. So I am not following instructions. So bad boy. Oh, it's got 28 grams of protein. Mhm. That's pretty good. It's a pretty good amount, I'd say. But are they complete proteins? Well, it's got soy, the ingredients. Well, it says soybean powder number 1, soybean powder number 2, gelatinized corn flour. Oh, maybe that helps make it mixable, maybe. Whey powder, whey protein. Oh, they added non-soy protein. Maltodextrin, creamer. Well, creamer has got all kinds of oils. Palm oil, cornstarch syrup, sodium caseinate, the basic potassium phosphate. What is that? Soy lecithin. Oh, glycerin esters of fatty acids. Oh, defatted peanut powder. peanut powder, defatted, salt, xanthan gum. So this product is manufactured in the same manufacturing facilities as eggs, crustacean shellfish, crab, tree nuts, walnuts, peanuts, and sulfites. They make everything in that factory, in that manufacturing facility. So they mix them up a little bit if they don't clean thoroughly. That gives it added flavor, maybe. Oh boy. Okay, so I added some soy milk powder to the what was left of the tea. So do not try this at home. It might not be very tasty. No. To get extra fiber, I will add coconut flour. What are the instructions for that? Doesn't have any. Maybe this is for cooking. With now real food organic coconut flour, you can say goodbye to overly processed grain-based flours and replace them with a wholesome, flavorful flour that's free of gluten and other allergens. Our organic coconut flour is dried, defatted coconut meat and ground into a fine powder. It's also an excellent source of fiber. What kind of fiber? There's two kinds of fibers, I heard. I will put another spoon.
Hello.
Was the night before Christmas.
And all through the house, not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse.
I don't know.
Yes, but yours comes before mine.
See, my knowledge is
Your uncle
increasing.
Abbott comes before yours, and your Jedu comes before. Yeah, your Jedu comes before your
Shrink,
for your brother, and
So-
your
Shrink,
eldest half brother comes before his.
Shrink,
What do you think about that? Nope, I got all that wrong.
Shrink,
In order, before your birthday is your Jedu's birthday.
introduce
Then it's your eldest brother's.
Shrink,
His name is
Shrink,
Avery, and then
Shrink,
he's your half brother, and then there's your uncle Abbott.
Shrink,
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 Okay.
Shrink, Shrink,
If I have to mute, I can go ahead and do that.
Shrink,
We had a similar breakfast at 5 a.m. Stacy and I.
Shrink, Shrink, mother and baby.
Yep, that's a mother and a baby. He's the baby. Well, this is their dog Maya. Aw. Oh, that's where I learned the idea that I got to mention to Cody earlier. I was searching the word Maya.
Really? You don't know nada muy feo. Let's see. Let's see. Naya smells. Should I spray?
Right, in Hinduism, Maya is the Maya is the supernatural power wielded by gods and demons to produce illusions.
Y esto es Anaya,
Have a good time.
desinfecta y elimina olores.
Super.
Coronavirus.
In the
Oh,
meat, Maya,
tiene
according to
eucalyptus,
Merriam-Webster, is the
fabric and air
central
freshener. Mhm.
of manifold phenomenon held in Vedanta to conceal the unity of absolute being, broadly illusion. But maybe your dog is named after the Mayan people.
Mm. Well, this is Naya
Um,
with the letter N as in Nancy.
oh, Naya. Naya?
Yes. It's
Yeah.
also it's also found in Sanskrit and in Hindi and it has meanings in Hinduism and in Buddhism.
Well, there are 29 definitions to the word Naya.
Oh, for the lava pigs.
Turn to wisdomlib.org. But so let's see. Feminine name of Indian origin.
Have a good time.
It's fresh. It's a sound like a sweet, invigorating breath that may come as no surprise. This name means new or fresh, flowing from the mouth with ease. This soft two syllables moniker is a beautiful way of celebrating the gift of life and your brand new chapter. That's wonderful.
Just
Mhm.
boy.
Also, a caregiver term. There's an ancient term for a guide, leader, or person of wisdom in memory care communities. Nayas are compassionate caregivers who provide care and encouragement for seniors with memory loss.
Oh,
Huh.
this is the person who named the dog.
Let me bring them up.
This is Nicholas,
He
my
named
sister, my sister's son. He is the dog's owner. He dropped him off. He's in Washington, D.C. Oh, maybe maybe he'll come back and get him. He was on a vacation with my sister they went to Peru. And maybe they got close to Machu Picchu, or I don't think they walked it. Or maybe they did. I did a little bit. But I don't think he knew what Naya meant. Maybe that's a short form of something else. Or maybe there's something in Spanish with that name in it. He chopped it off and left it Naya. I don't know. I'll have to ask him. Oh, there's my concoction. There's Naya. I sprayed her with a disinfectant. Let's see how it smells. Yeah, yes, it still doesn't smell good. So there's my breakfast concoction of oolong tea and soy milk powder and coconut flour. Maybe that's my breakfast for the morning. Oh, maybe I could add sugar in the form of honey to it. Like a sweetener. Let's put it where it was. Let's see. There we go. So there's the now. Do not try this at home. Maybe I'll put some. What's this? Subi honey. Let's see. Let's put a drop of Subi honey. There. There we go. Now, stir. Mhm. Let's see how it tastes. Maybe I could add some more water to it. So this is my protein shake. Okay, let's try it out. No, maybe we should bless it. Say, oh my home. Amazing grace, amazing grace. My new mantra, amazing grace. Oh my home, oh my home. Om. Oh, Om. AUM. Om could mean uh is the hmm, is the easiest vowel to pronounce, I would say. You just open your mouth and say The other vowels, you kind of shape your
I
mouth
disagree.
different ways. Oh, maybe there's another one.
H.
H. Ha. Or ah. Which way?
I mean, you're going to make it H by default just by breathing. Very connected. You don't have to move the tongue or any muscles to make an H or W sound.
Ha.
Oh, you do have to make a movement with your, at least I do, to make that be.
Mhm. So the vowels in Tibetan, I learned. The vowels in Tibetan, I learned they don't have a character for the vowels, but they have little marks on the consonants. So if you want
They're diacritics is
to
what they're called.
produce the sound ba, you don't put a mark on the letter ba. You just pronounce it like that. So by default, or you could say inherently, every consonant has the vowel. But then if you want to squeeze the E sound in it, so you put a mark on it and make it B. In another mark, we get bo. In another mark, you get be. In another mark, you get boo. So they put marks.
Well, it sounds like Arabic adopted the same system, which would make sense since geographically they came up from the general same region, Western Asia. Those same diacritics are present in modern Arabic. Yeah, you have three short vowels, fatha, which is an ah sound, and then the other two. One is a mark that goes above the character, that's an ah sound. One is the same shaped mark that goes below the character, that's an e sound. And then there's a little loop. Let me see. Bring up the whiteboard. Where's the whiteboard? Apps, maybe? No, not apps. More. Whiteboards. New whiteboard. Whiteboard classic.
Rami has started screen sharing.
Let's see.
Oh wow, it's really.
I have to remember
white.
what Jim is. I am so out of practice when it comes to Arabic. I didn't know I was doing this either. Annotate.
Wow, we're going to learn.
I'll just spell my own first name. R. Maybe annotate isn't the right tool to use. I don't care for using it in red. Go back and see if I can pick the color. Options. Color. Here we go. Let's see if we can go with this color. So, what is it? Raw. Alif. Meme. Uh, um, RAMI. All right, so that's what we're going to try to achieve here, and we'll go here. Now it's a right to left language. Is Sanskrit right to left? So there's a Ra.
Nope.
There's
Sanskrit is
Aleph,
left to right.
which is long vowel. It has long vowels and short vowels. There's your beam. There's your Ya, which is a connector. And if you
Wow.
want to be specific, the Fatha, the short vowel, you can do a short vowel on top of, you can do a short vowel A on top of long vowel A. I mean, it's kind of redundant, but there it is. Rami, Ra. And then me, I'll put a little, maybe it wouldn't be that long. It can be just as short as this one here, and on the end as well. Let's see if I can go back a bit. Now,
And now,
I don't have the nicest whiteboard handwriting, but even in real life, it's not that nice.
and can
There you
I
go.
write Rami in Tibetan? Let's
Go
see if
ahead.
how do I get the tools to write right below yours? How do I get the tool?
I guess you
Let's
have to
see.
go to the whiteboard. Let me
Let's
see.
see.
The
Yes,
share
whiteboard. Oh, I hit whiteboard.
document toolbar.
Will it remove your whiteboard
Scroll it. I'm sorry.
if I open my whiteboard? Will it remove yours? Or is there a way to share writing on one whiteboard?
Save this as a PDF.
Yeah.
Save this, or
Oh.
sorry, it's a PNG is what I went with.
Oh, did I write something?
Yeah, you have writing ability. It's a shared whiteboard.
Oh, okay.
This is great.
So
Back
here-
in the early 90s, the ability to do this was referred to like this whole
That's right.
called one of the acronyms. CSCW,
Okay,
Computer
right,
Supported
right.
Cooperative Workgroups.
Uh,
Why are you hurting your head?
now I'm below it. I'm going to write in
Chicken?
Tibetan. Let's see.
After you chicken before, do you want chicken?
Oh,
You want a
I
waffle?
think it's like this. I think this is R. Oh no.
Is Sanskrit primarily from right to left as well?
This is Tibetan, but it has Sanskrit principles.
Okay.
Let's see. Let's see how to make it. Let me see. How to make it thicker.
Tear them up when they're done, and I'll add the syrup.
Oh. Let me see that. Oh, lined with. Aha. Okay, so it's and then you go like this, and then you go like this. I think that's R, and then you put a dot here, and then I'm gonna do the M. And then you put there. Oh, you put a dot here.
Similar to
And
the
then
round, which is a short vowel.
so
I'm gonna go ahead and save it.
so the R has an inherent in it, so you don't have to put a diacritical mark. So it's just Ra, and then you don't need the therefore, and then so you can go to the me, and so you just put a ma, and then put a diacritical that transforms it into a me. So it's Ra Mi. There you go.
So E
So you-
in English and in this is Tibetan.
And this is Tibetan and Hindi
Are
or
both
Sanskrit.
represented by a vertical line in India, northern India, perhaps that they use this. So vertical line is an E sound.
Oh, that vertical line at the end is kind of like the end of the sentence.
Oh, so it's a full stop, like what the British refer to as a period. It's a
So-
full stop. So that's
so
the
I-
complete name right there.
Oh, so each syllable is separated by a dot,
Oh.
so that because some syllables are very complex and they have prefixes and suffixes, but these are simple syllables, and so you just need two syllables, the ra and the ma, but then you
Oh.
put that little hook on top and makes it the ma a mi, and so
So
it's
is-
go ra mi.
Thank you. Rami, right, two syllables. So is it so Tibetan then maybe it's less accurate to say it's a Tibetan alphabet. Would you say it's a Tibetan is written Tibetan comes in the form of a syllabary, or I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. Japanese has three writing systems, and you'll notice
Oh yeah.
one I think is it Ragna? I may be pronouncing that wrong as well.
Mm.
Let me have one of the online tools pronounce it for us.
Yes, that
But
that Tibetan script is used in books, but they also came up with a Tibetan sort of handwriting, and it looks kind of Arabic-y. It's good. It looks pretty and flowing and kind of spread out and swishy. But
Ragana.
this script, Tibetan script, is for textbooks and or whatever, or writing and mantras or whatever, the formal way, and it doesn't look, it's got the same principles as what they used to write Sanskrit and Hindi and whatever. All the different languages in India have their own scripts. Like Sanskrit has Devanagari, and Hindi also does too, and Nepali does too. So Lama Birdas can read Sanskrit,
Right, and
but he can write it.
these writing systems developed so as to be able to reproduce the sounds. These are syllabaries.
Yes,
System
they're pretty
for
phonetic.
phonetically reproducing a language.
But then the peoples devolved, and so the Tibetan region has different dialects, so they don't actually pronounce it as written, but they use the same writing system so they can understand each other with that system. But if you go to Eastern Tibet or Western Tibet, they might say the same things differently. It sounds like they can read it and understand what it says. So
Now, if
sometimes
you're writing your own name, your first name, your given name in Tibetan, is there an H in the language?
uh-huh. So it would be, oh wow. I think the H is tricky. It looks like a 5 or something like this. I forget. That's it. And then that would be ha, and then but then there's a mark that maybe it looks like this. And then makes it high, and then that here, and then ro, and then you go the R, and then this mark here makes it ro, so it's high ro. I'm gonna put it out here, something like that.
Does Tibetan have a J?
Oh,
Is there a J letter in Tibetan?
so that would be high ro, and then the ja would be something. It looks like the letter E. That would be the ja sound. Maybe they pronounce it, and they might pronounce it like the, well, formally they might pronounce it more like the Jeep, as a German might pronounce it ja, or maybe in some Tibetans they pronounce it sa. Oh no, that's if you put a little mark. Oh, it might be a little flag. Oh no, it's more like a flag like that. No, that's too big.
Germany when you were in the military, or have you been to Germany before?
Oh, I went. Oh no, not like that. And anyway, yeah, so they have a. Oh yes, I was in Germany and I tried to learn some German, but then when I tried it out in person, then they would speak too fast and I gave up. I said, and anyway, they all speak English, so I gave up.
You know, same problem in Saudi Arabia. And when I go to Arabic restaurants and I try to order in Arabic, they just stare at me, talk to me in English. Unless they're encouraging. Spanish tends to be more encouraging. I went to a local, when I was still living in Orlando, a local Spanish cafe, and I made it a point to only attempt to speak Spanish. And the person at the register was very kind and very encouraging, lots of smiles, seeing that I was trying to just speak in Espanol to order my lunch. That was a good day. I'm gonna see if my son wants some of this chicken.
Mm. 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 Oh, and it's interesting that when they learn the alphabet, they don't learn A, B, C, D, E, F, G. No, they learn them in groups. Like there's a, and they learn that since that's all the same without the diacritical marks, so all the consonants will sound like ka, ka, ga, nga, cha, cha, ja, nya, ta, ta, da, nya or ma. I forget. And then kachata pa, 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 ba. No. And let's see, kachata pa, ta, 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 za. Wow, maybe. So they they go from the guttural sounds go start in the back of the throat. There you pronounce ka, ka, ga. And then maybe the palatal. Cha, cha, ja. The ta, labial. Labial? No. Oh boy. Oh no. Then there's some extra sounds that are like sha, 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 and la, wa. So they arrange. So Tibetan is learned and arranged similarly to Sanskrit, except Sanskrit has a lot more more letters, more sounds, maybe an extra column. They arrange them into columns and rows, so the rows are where you generate the sound, like start in the back of the throat and going forwards to the lips, and so then the columns are how forceful you do it. Like maybe the first one is most forceful, and you kind of soften it and aspirate it more. Like ka is supposed to be the most forceful, and then ka or ka, you kind of put an H in front of the K, so it's ka. So it's aspirated, and then it even becomes softer, and it becomes a ga, as in goat, and ga, and so you do that for each row. You go from forceful to softened. So they're like cha, cha,
Yes.
ja, ja. So it's kind of a system that's very appreciated by linguists. And so the people that first came across learning Sanskrit, they said, wow, this is pretty neat. And from then they said, wow, this is well thought out, and maybe they out of that they got ideas of, hey, maybe we could use this and come up with something of our own. And maybe they said, maybe we should form a phonetic system that would include all the sounds possible by humans. I think they standardized a phonetic system, the International Phonetic something. But the symbols are kind of hard to remember. They're kind of different from. Yes, like if you look up a word in Wikipedia, they give that that linguistic phonetic symbol for the words. What's it called? IPA or something. That would be good to learn, maybe. Yes. Oh, yes. Oh, I met this guy that that knew that system, and he came up with a way to teach kids learn English phonetically, and then so they had to learn. I guess nobody took it up, but they learned. They would learn the phonetic symbols, and so they would learn to read English phonetically perfectly, and then he would the phonemes, yes, all the
Phonemes.
possible English phonemes, and the kid would learn the phonemes, and then gradually he would remove like story. He would remove this sound and put the common English way, like say the phoneme for th is this. I learned the letter th can produce that sound, so they remove the phoneme that's in the international standard and replace it with the regular common English th, and then and so little by little the kid starts learning. Well, he learns how to pronounce English correctly with the standard phonemes symbols, but little by little the teacher removes or replaces them with the common English ways of writing it, and so little by little he might be get confused that way and say, why is this spelling so doesn't follow rules at all? And you say, well, you have to memorize it for now. Well, historically English came from a mixture of this and that, and so they came up different ways of spelling, like the French and the Anglo-Saxons and the Latin and whatever. Oh, like to the word to TWO or TOO or TO.
To you in French.
and the OUGH sound. Sometimes it's oo or o. It makes English not very consistent phonetically.
Oh no, it's not at all. You have to understand the roots, the origins of the words to have a clue.
Interesting. Oh,
syllabaries.
But I heard that Sanskrit was kind of, maybe it was a common language at one time, but some people must have tried to standardize it and formalize it and make it very, very, very consistent. And maybe that's why it was difficult. And so maybe only the priests would learn Sanskrit that way. And maybe they started writing everything in Sanskrit and try to make it like Latin was for Europeans or Greek was for Europeans at one time, where if you wanted to have prestige, you would write your thesis in Sanskrit or whatever. It became like that, I guess. So and I heard that the Sanskrit is so normalized that it could be used as a programming language, and maybe kind of like German, and you can combine parts and make new words that are meaningful.
Are there works of formal logic such as the Germans had created in their language?
There's people that started writing logics and thinking about things kind of like Aristotle. Maybe they had this school of thinking about things and categorizing, and then they started coming. Oh, and they started coming, writing about the grammar for Sanskrit, and yes, they must have started thinking about the logic. So there must have been logicians in the Indian world, and the Buddhists started picking up on it because the Buddhists started writing everything in Sanskrit, or maybe they didn't write anything. They had to memorize everything, and maybe they started writing. Oh, let's they ended up calling that language Pali. Maybe that was a vernacular or a different kind of language similar to Sanskrit. And then they started writing that or translating it into Sanskrit because said, oh, there's more prestige in writing our stuff in Sanskrit. So maybe by the 1st century they started writing everything in Sanskrit. And then when the Chinese came to India, they said, let's take Buddhism to our lands, and but we have to learn Sanskrit. And they were able to translate things from Sanskrit to Chinese, or there was even some things that got lost, that they don't find the Sanskrit version, but they found the Chinese version, so they could reverse translate it and get what might have been the Sanskrit version. Wow, but Sanskrit or Indian languages and Chinese languages are so different. That's pretty amazing. Wow. And Tibetan is even different from Chinese. Oh, it's in Chinese, the word order. I think it's like English, the subject, verb, object, but Tibetan is subject, object, verb.
Subject,
That's like
object,
reverse. That's like reverse Polish notation on the HP calculator.
Right, I'm familiar with that notation. Operand, operator is reverse Polish notation.
Wow.
But so it depends on which Chinese you're talking about. Mandarin, well, Cantonese, what's spoken in Southeast China more predominantly, although they've got so many languages in China. Ways to easily keep the people there separated. When you keep people divided, they're easier to rule that way. It's much like English. But then Mandarin is the other way around.
Wow. And then there's tones. That's something that is wild. That is wild to imagine. That
are you talking about like Imagus tongues, or
like if you say the word ma, that could mean mother, but in Chinese,
it can also mean water in Chinese.
If you tone it differently, it could mean different words because there's 4 different ways of toning it.
Right.
Like you can go ma or ma or ma or ma. There's the several different ways. And Cantonese, I heard that they even have more tones. So it's maybe that's why and I imagine how it could be if you sing a song in those languages, and when it get confusing, like maybe you have to go by the the context to figure out what word it was being sung.
Potentially, but I'm sure the children, being raised in the language have naturally developed the ear to be able to differentiate the different tones. Vietnamese has 7 tones.
Oh wow, Vietnamese! I've heard them say that might be one of the toughest languages to learn. And what's another one? Thai. Well, maybe it's difficult to write. I don't know. Oh, the Vietnamese was written. Could have been written in Chinese characters, but they went with writing it kind of like like
with
French
with
would write.
additional
So they
diacritics,
got
right?
a lot
Because
of
of the French
they
influence
got a
from
lot of marks.
China, right?
So maybe that would be a good way to get to learn those languages. If you learn Vietnamese and then go on to learn Chinese, because you could maybe read Vietnamese phonetically somewhat, and make. But then Chinese, it might be easy to pronounce, but hard to read. You have to learn 4,000 characters.
Right.
Wow.
And be,
That'd be good too.
tested on them too.
They have their way of remembering them, I guess.
That's a high
But-
barrier for being able to enter office or hold certain roles in the society. It's a very controlling culture.
Wow.
You know about their death bans in China?
Death bans?
Yes.
Hmm.
Have you heard of them?
The you're banned, and if you fail, you could die. You could be killed.
If I mean, it's one of the sentences that they carry out, and they tend to carry it out publicly. Sometimes to make examples of certain individuals for stepping out of line in their country, where they'll pick you up in the death ban and then strap you down and give you lethal injections.
How do you
been
spell death ban? Did you say
death? DEATH space van VAN.
Oh, V as in Victor?
No, D as in Delta.
The last syllable is DAN, like Stoic Dan?
Death as in end of life.
It's in the happiest place on earth.
Yeah, I know the first one, but what the second one is van, VAN as in or ban or
Victor Alpha November.
吃完这一餐，你就要上路了。
They're all
这
finished. Shall I share?
日围有窗帘。
Sorry, this is
Okay.
and it doesn't respond my keyboard input.
No, he
very
won't
quickly
help.
sometimes.
I want somebody
Mm.
He has
Yeah.
paws.
I'm going to make my bed in the meantime.
I'll
Less than you're
let me
pretty
share. See if I can.
all the men.
First I'll send you a link so that you can have it a little bit easier. I'll let you share it because I've got a lot of. There's only.
And you are the cutest pup ever.
Philippines.
Babing. Oh, hi.
And then there's the Philippines. The Philippines, if you go to karaoke and you don't sing the song correctly, you could get killed.
Oh boy.
Because there was some guy that sang the song My Way, and that's kind of ironic that he sang it and then he got killed because he did sing it right.
Oh boy.
Can you argue that he sang it his way, and isn't that okay? No.
Philippines is a very,
the crowd got pissed off and killed him, or somebody must have shot him or something. Then they said, he sang it wrong. So maybe that makes the Philippines very good at karaoke, because I've noticed that going to karaoke.
Always do highly in the Philippines, and it can be it's as I understand it from a distance, that's sort of a dictatorial country. Leadership will openly say, kind of like how some people have trouble with Trump here for the things that Trump says, but over there they'll like the leader of the country says, we're going to kill all the drug dealers, and here are my police forces, and I've given them instructions, I've equipped them with the tools, now they're going to go out in the city and do it.
Wow.
Yeah. But it's also a very beautiful land and big chain of islands. 1898 is when the United States gained the Philippines from Spain.
Wow.
And we had it until we started converting them to a Commonwealth in 1935, and then they were attacked on the 8th of December 1941 by Japan. Japan held it till Battle Corridor, I think. Corridor? No, maybe we lost it fully by 42, regained it by 44, but the amount of destruction, like during the Japanese rule, they say something like 1 million people were killed. They mass bombed the cities, leveled and killed and pillaged and raped. I mean, so the accounts go. But so little resources were put into helping the people of the Philippines that for 5 years after World War II, the population of the country continued to go down. Just because folks were starving and the people who knew how to do anything were dead. So just the survivors had to piece back together. And of course, Quezon,
Wow.
big influence in that territory. I forget who the current guy is running the place.
I made my bed up, which is rare. And now I'm going to gather up some clothes that I will replace these clothes that I'm wearing because I went to bed with my clothes
Sounds
on.
good.
And
You were just
and
that
I'll
tired.
be
You were so
before-
exhausted. You just fell asleep.
and then but I will put my new clothes after I take a shower. So
Okay.
and then it is projected that the activity for today will be to go to Moss Park, where we will a kind of gathering of those that work at the company, my brother's construction company. So there'll be soccer, which is they call it football,
Right.
and they'll form up two competing teams, and they'll have a friendly, cordial game of soccer, and they'll try to make the teams evenly good. How good do they do that?
Sounds like a lot of
And
fun.
then-
Sounds like a great day. Yes.
And maybe they'll have barbecue, or what would they cook? Or maybe they'll bring foods. Or maybe someone will put things on the grill to cook. And maybe there'll be kids there, and I'll take some. They maybe play volleyball. It's by a lake. And so maybe I'll take my tennis rackets and hit the balls in the air back and forth with somebody. So I'm gonna take my the person that's taking care of my mother. She brought kids from Colombia. Her two sons live here with her for a while.
Mateo,
Maybe for a few months, maybe because they have to go back to school or something. And one of them is going to university, and the other one is probably in the third school. No, maybe the 8th grade or something like that. And another one, and a third one. The third one came and got a job at in construction for a while, but he finished his schooling in psychology or something like that. So I'm gonna take them to Moss Park in a.
A little bit cuter.
I'm going to take them to Moss Park in an hour or so.
You were scared all the time.
Our happy activity for today.
well, it sounds like you got a wonderful day lined up for yourself there, and that your whole family, extended tribe, or have a nice set of activities. What a wonderful day to renew and to enjoy a Saturday, the Sabbath.
Oh wow, Sabbath! I must remember it's a Sabbath, so I should try not to work so hard on Saturdays and to enjoy.
Oh yeah, well, it's there. It's a gift for us to renew.
Wow, I think in Nepal, Birdash Lamas's kids they go to school 6 days a week, and I think it's
Monday through
Sunday
Friday.
that they go to school.
Right.
Is it Sunday through Friday? Wow.
Oh, some kids here in America still do a Sunday school at their church Sunday mornings, and then have the rest of the day off.
Wow.
Right, in the family.
But
my closest geographic church, they have a 9:30 a.m. Sunday school, and then 11 a.m. service, or maybe it's 10:30 a.m., and then a 6 p.m. evening service. So the families there who are really into it, they can maybe have a nap in the middle of the afternoon, but they'll church with each other all day.
Hmm. And what are you doing Monday with Stoic Dan? Is he having something
Yeah, let
that
me. Yeah, it
compares
is.
Stoicism with
Yeah,
Christian
comparing
values?
Stoicism and Christianity.
I'll try to attend virtually. Is he doing any of those in person?
He sometimes does Saturday mid to late afternoon, is when I think it begins, in person at the Altamont Springs Panera.
Wow,
Yeah, that's maybe a
excellent.
few times, but the 3 or 4, I think he's up to 4 times because they do Stoicism with our friend Jorge
Oh,
Hernandez,
wow.
Stoic training in Spanish on Wednesdays, and then there's this
Yeah.
Monday and Friday in English. One tends to be more of an open topic, and the other day tends to be pure Stoic topic. And then, of course, he hosts the Sunday morning Zoom in connection with Plato's Cave, where you and I met, and
Wow.
you inquired minds.
And Jorge came up with an idea of reading from a writing by Jiddu, that is Jiddu Krishnamurti,
Yes.
called Total Freedom. And so he was promoted by the Theosophical Society to be a world teacher, like a guru for everyone. And he gave a presentation and says, no, I'm stepping down from that position because it would make the situation too dogmatic and all that. And I've seen
Right. That's
it
smart of
happened
him.
before. So he
Plus,
stepped
the
down.
Theosophical Society, I'm wary of them because of the roots with Madame Blavatsky and yeah.
And but he
Great.
went on to become
I'm a
anti-Buddhism.
subscriber, of course, of the view that freedom is the freedom to do what one ought to do, not
Oh.
anything one might wish. But the ought is built into me. It's not coming from an external source.
The Theosophy Zoom meetings that I like to listen to, one happens Friday around 4. They're studying things like the Bhagavad Gita, like verse by verse they read it.
Yeah.
And then there's one on Sunday, and what are they doing? Oh, they're studying some book by some theosophist, and yes, so they follow Blavatsky and some other guy that has written, and maybe a few others.
I was really surprised when I met online through Facebook, or maybe it was through Meetup, and found that there are so many Theosophical Society communities alive and active to this day here in Florida. But of course it would be because Florida is the host of so much.
Oh, yes. I think during and after the pandemic, maybe it allowed more interconnectivity across the U.S. so that one can, like 52 Living Ideas and others that through Meetup they were able to interconnect, like Stoic Dan with Plato's Cave, and so there's been more options being offered, and you say, oh wow, this group in San Diego, oh wow, this is so like maybe a few in New York, and they do theosophical things, and they read a like a preamble or a constitution at the beginning that tries to say we're not going to be sectarian or and we're not going to delve into differences. We're just gonna follow the writings and think about them or something like that.
Mm.
They're trying to not become dogmatic or anything and just learn what.
One of the
Yes, it's
warnings in Christianity is to beware of the teachings of the traditions of men.
mm,
That's why I generally say I'm really not that big into religion, because it seems like most religions are about that.
mm,
Not to say there wouldn't be some worth or value embedded in each of them, but there's a lot of bad
Mm.
religions there. I mean, in terms of
Mm.
their end.
mm,
But then
Mm.
again, maybe that's just another perspective of me falling into the trap, not thinking in terms of life giving, but what is,
Mm.
thinking in terms of good and bad, or
Mhm.
holistically. All right, I
Mm.
done here. I asked the David Norton question.
Oh,
Have we
David
have we
Norton.
covered it all?
Oh, wow. Have we covered it up? No, we learned that that we'll never cover it and never come to any conclusion that that's okay.
Oh, yeah.
What's it? Oh, I mean, But maybe we've discovered new interconnectednesses.
Yes. Yes, indeed. Especially with languages. And then we met Joey, and
Joey Fisher,
yeah, well, we look forward to
long
hopefully
time
he'll
no
be
see.
back.
The
Yeah.
last time I saw him must have been in 2009 or so in person. But I've seen him here and there in social media and in Facebook and in Meetup. But thanks for inviting him.
Your ears are beautiful.
Yeah, I wrote him too. I sent him the email, the body of the email that you sent 4 days ago, from when we played Mincy with the Ring of Protection back in
That is
either
pretty
October
good.
or February. All right, I'm gonna focus on family and maybe take a rest since I've been up since 5 a.m. or so. Oh, it sounds like
Have
my
a
wife's
good
gonna put me
week.
to work doing something or other, but I'll learn that after this Zoom. It's so good to see you again. Check out that the Death Bands video if you're not too frightened to. Maybe save the chat so you can view it later.
Mhm.
I've been up since 5 a.m., so.
Okay. Yes, they're pressuring me to get ready. Hurry.
Okay,
Okay.
all right.
I'll
I'm
let you
gonna
go.
go so you can focus.
Have a good week.
Peace. You too.
Shanti. Mhm. Oh, let me